Live from Falcon Park in Auburn, New York, it's time for Elmira Pioneers baseball as after a two-day hiatus, the Pios return to the field, traveling to a place that has been their house of horrors to begin the season, but they'll look to alter that course this evening. Good evening, everybody, for the Pioneers Baseball Network. I'm Farrell Hudson. As we alluded to already, the fifth matchup of the season between the Doubledays and the Pioneers, and Elmira looking to make good of it. They've lost 5 out of 6 ball games as we head into tonight. Let's take a look at the Pioneers' batting order. It'll be Aiden Grabowski, the shortstop, to lead things off, followed by Ty Martineau in the designated hitter role. TJ Gurmesti is the catcher. He'll bat third. Michael Palmer is at first base in the cleanup role tonight for Elmira. Cooper Smith in right field will bat fifth. Anthony Manganiello is the extra hitter. Brett Baker in left field. Baker made quite the impression this weekend. Already 2 hits and an RBI through his opening ball game plus with Elmira. Jacob Moniz is at second. Brendan Hammer over at third. Dylan Fatovich rounds out the Pioneers batting order tonight in center field. They'll go up against the right-hander from the Auburn Doubledays. That's Owen Burchard making the start against Elmira. For Burchard on the season, a 3.13 ERA, 1-1 win-loss record. He started 4 games, appeared in 4 games, 23 innings of work, and he's given up 12 runs, 8 earned, 9 walks, and 30 strikeouts, pitching to an opposing batting average of .241. It's quite the beautiful evening here from Falcon Park in Auburn. The weather's cooled off pretty nicely, a high 70-degree evening, as the Pioneers will look to get a little bit better on the road. It's been a bit of a rough go-round lately for Elmira. They dropped last week a couple consecutive road games to Jamestown. Then last Wednesday night, they were also here at Auburn, an 11-1 loss in 7 innings. And then on Friday, the loss to Geneva. Saturday, the loss at Batavia. Sunday, game 1 of the doubleheader against the Niagara Falls Americans 3-0, and then lost game 2 despite a really valiant effort at a comeback. Pioneers were down 7-2 as they headed to the 5th inning and ultimately ended up getting it to a 7-6 game. Tying run was stranded on second in the visitors' half of the inning. So that's where we stand. Elmira and Auburn for the 5th time this season. Grabowski's finished his swing in the on-deck circle, and he gets ready to come to the plate against the right-hander Burchard. Defensive alignment for Auburn. It'll be Tommy Kierwin in left, Sam Meyer in center, Gianni DeCerbo over in right, Alex Vasquez at third, Adam Sullivan as usual at his usual spot at the shortstop role. Tyler Vivaco's at second. Max Fishbein is at first. The righty Burchard's ready. From the windup, kicks and fires, and the fastball taken high by Grabowski, 1-0. For Aiden on the season, he continues to remain hot. 4th on the Pioneers in batting average, a .328 overall average heading into tonight's ball game as the breaking ball misses just off the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes the count. From the righty Burchard to Grabowski to lead things off. Aiden also possessing a very formidable .385 on base percentage, slugging a .397 overall OPS of .782 as he flies one to deep right. Going back is DeCerbo just in front of the warning track. A few steps, shades the sun with his eyes, and puts it away for out number 1. So Grabowski gave it a ride. A fastball over the outside corner on a 2-0 count. Aiden swinging away as he flies out to deep right, and 1 out and the base is empty here in the top of the 1st, and that'll bring up the lefty swinging Ty Martineau, who's made quite the impact for all Pioneers who have appeared in 11 or more ball games this season. Martineau possessing the 2nd best batting average behind TJ Gurmesti as he takes a fastball over the inside corner from Burchard for strike 1. Martineau, a .425 on base percentage, .361 slug percentage, overall culminating in a .786 OPS. 13 hits on the season for the lefty swinging designated hitter as he cuts through the next offering, 0-2 the count. A nice change-up there executed by Burchard over the inner third. A 79-mile-an-hour change-up, about a 5 to 6 mile-an-hour difference from the heater. We'll look to see if he options back with that here. He does, and it's a fastball low and away in the dirt, taken by Time, 1-2 the count. One-two with 1 out. Base is empty, top of the 1st inning. Elmira and Auburn as Burchard sets and fires, and the fastball dribbled back behind the plate. Martineau stays alive. In the 1st, it's Grabowski who flew out. Martineau at the dish now, followed by TJ Gurmesti. Gurmesti 28 hits through 65 plate appearances. Rather, 65 at-bats with the Pioneers. Fastball off the outside edge. Martineau takes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grimesti 28 hits in 21 ball games, including 7 extra base hits, a homer, and 12 RBIs. 2-2 count to the lefty swinging Martineau with 1 out. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike 3. Beautifully located at the letters from Burchard as he retires Martineau via the backwards K. 2 outs and the base is empty here in the first. So that'll bring up the aforementioned TJ Grimesti. TJ in Sunday afternoon's back into the doubleheader ball game against Niagara Falls was a strong presence in the lineup as usual. Reached base in all 4 plate appearances as the breaking ball over the heart of the plate takes for strike 1 from Burchard. 3 stolen bases for Grimesti, a hit batsman in the first, singles in the third and fifth, and a triple to lead off the top of the 7th. Pioneers scored a run in the inning. He was the runner who came in to score. Takes a fastball low. Burchard gassing it up to 87 that time. And we're even at a ball and a strike. Bases empty, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Just underway from Falcon Park in Auburn on a picturesque Wednesday evening. 1-1 from the righty Burchard is a breaking ball. Grimesti takes in the dirt. 2-1 the count. Outfield is relatively deep. They know the kind of power and pop that Grimesti can provide. When head coach Andrew Drum was throwing his opening round of batting practice, Grimesti constantly hitting the left field wall. The ball off the bat of the FAU incoming sophomore just flies different as 2-1 fastball over the heart of the plate. He skies foul back behind the dish, comes back onto the field. Retrieving behind the plate is the catcher DeCesare. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Burchard's going to look to complete a clean first. He comes set right side of the rubber against the righty Grimesti. Rocks and fires, and the breaking ball taken in the dirt. So the count goes full with 2 outs. It was an 80-mile-an-hour breaking ball, so not much of a difference between fastball and off speed as the payoff is drilled down the left field line, racing over and playing it on a hop. That's a fair ball. No, umpire just calls it foul. So we didn't necessarily have the best vantage point from here. Looked like it might have been a fair ball. Home plate umpire says otherwise, so it's a long foul ball, and it now remains full. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count with 2 outs. Just underway here at the top of the first. Grimesti looking to reach. Burchard looking to complete a 1-2-3 inning. Burchard kicks and fires, and the payoff pitch is fouled up against the Doubledays dugout. Grimesti stays alive. For TJ, a .554 on-base percentage. Leads the team with 11 stolen bases when he's on. We mentioned 3 of them came in Sunday afternoon's ball game at Niagara Falls. Burchard comes ready, right side of the rubber, payoff pitch, lined into center field. That's a base hit for Grimesti. Hit number 29 on the season. And clear and by far a team leader in that category as well. 10 now ahead of second place Aiden Grabowski as Grimesti reaches with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the lefty swinging Michael Palmer. So Grimesti does a really nice job there. He works an 8-pitch at-bat and fends off the inner third fastball, stroking it back up the middle. So it'll be a righty on lefty matchup with 2 outs. Grimesti just barely off of first, and the fastball fouled up against the catcher's mask of DeCesare. He trickles to the backstop as plate umpire will come out and feed Auburn starting pitcher Burchard the baseball. Give DeCesare some time to gather himself. 0-1 the count to the cleanup hitter Palmer for the Pioneers. No score here in the top of the first with 2 outs. 5th matchup of the season between Elmira and the Doubledays. It'll be a quick turnaround time. They'll see Auburn once again tomorrow. The start of a busy 6-game, 5-day stretch for Elmira. Tonight marks the halfway point as well in the PGCBL season. Grimesti takes off a high fly ball by Palmer, deep to right field. Going back is DeCerbo, just in front of the warning track in deep right center, puts it away to retire the side. So both Grabowski and Palmer in the top of the first, giving it a ride to deep right, but DeCerbo there to intercept each time. No runs and a hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. We've played half an inning in Auburn, no score between the Pioneers and the Doubledays here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. The Elmira Pioneers would like to thank some of our most loyal sponsors for the 2025 season, including Absolute Care of Three Rivers, AIM Independent Living, AJ's Outdoor Power Sports, Al's Leasing, Ann's Pancakes, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Buckley's Automotive. So the Pioneers strand TJ Grimesti in the top of the first. They'd take the field for the bottom half as Bryce Mashanik has taken the mound, and let's take a look at the Auburn Doubledays starting lineup. Tyler Vivacqua is the second baseman. He'll lead things off. Tommy Kierwin, the left fielder, will bat second. Sam Meyer in center field will bat third. Anthony DeCesare doing the catching. He'll clean up. Adam Sullivan, the shortstop, will bat fifth. Max Fishbein at first base will bat sixth. Troy Reeder is the catcher. He'll bat seventh. Gianni DeCerbo in right field will bat eighth. Tyler Young is the designated hitter. He'll bat ninth. And rounding out the batting order is Alex Vasquez as Grimesti completes his warm-up throw down to second base. Let's take a look at the numbers on Bryce Mashanik for the season. They've been fantastic. A 1-0 record for the Elmira native, a 1.74 ERA, pitching to an opposing batting average of 139 against, 14 strikeouts in 10 1/3 innings. He's been money in his relief role, but he gets the start tonight for Elmira, so a bit of an interesting decision from Coach Andrew Drum and company, but Pios are hoping it pays off. Mashanik set from the right side of the rubber and fires a fastball away. 1-0 the count to Vivacqua. Just underway here at the bottom of the first. Pioneers and Auburn scoreless as Mashanik fires a fastball over the inside corner. Vivacqua takes for a called strike one. Mashanik fires just off the outside corner. 2-1. Boy, Bryce working quickly out of the stretch position, right side of the rubber to begin the ball game. Missing there with a changeup at 77. 2-1 the count to Vivacqua. Fastball taken high, 3 balls and a strike. For Vivacqua on the season, batting .300 across 16 starts. 15 hits, 5 extra base hits, a homer, and 10 RBIs. 3-1 outside for ball 4. So Mashanik walks the leadoff man in the ball game as Vivacqua reaches first. For Mashanik, that's only his 6th walk through 10 1/3 innings of work. He's kept the control relatively solid as Tommy Kierwin steps to the dish with a runner on and nobody out. Kierwin getting a couple starts at shortstop now in left field tonight. Saw him in left field last week against the Pioneers as well. Snap throw over to first from Mashanik to check on Vivacqua, who's off of first base with nobody out. Vivacqua on the season, 5 stolen bases. Pioneers do have to keep an eye on him. 5th in Auburn in stolen bases as the fastball fired high from Mashanik. 1-0 the count. Nobody out, just underway here in the bottom of the first from Falcon Park. Kierwin batting .352, 19 hits, 2 extra base hits, and 7 RBIs. Possessing an .815 OPS on the season. Fastball outside corner, Kierwin takes for a called strike one. So Mashanik threw 5 of his opening 6 pitches for balls, now gets back there in the count. 1-1 with nobody out, medium-sized lead for Vivacqua off first. Righty and lefty matchup as Mashanik kicks and fires a fastball high and away, 2-1. Pioneers defensive alignment in the outfield, left to right. It's Brett Baker in left, Dylan Fatovich in center. Cooper Smith is over in right. Brendan Hammer is the third baseman. Aiden Grabowski the shortstop. Jacob Moon is at second. Michael Palmer at first. TJ Grimesti behind the plate tonight, catching Bryce Mashanik. 2-1 fastball taken high and away by Kierwin. That's where Bryce has been missing in the opening 2 batters. As he's fired now 8 of his opening 10 pitches in the ball game. 4 balls, gets back in the count. Fastball inside corner, called strike 2. Nicely spotted there at the letters from Bryce. So it's a full count to the 2-hitter Kierwin. With nobody out, Pioneers looking to stay out of walk trouble. That's something that assistant coach Nate Krukow mentioned to me in pregame availability today. Said the walks continue to be a point of emphasis. Fastball fouled off with the runner Vivacqua taking off at first on a full count. So Kierwin doing a nice job. He'll see a 7th pitch here from the right-hander Mashanik. Mashanik spending his freshman season at SUNY Niagara. had himself a nice career at Elmira High School. Threw the first program no-hitter when Elmira beat Ithaca back in April of 2024. It'll be a payoff pitch with nobody out. Fastball, swing and a miss. Outside corner, blowing him away with heat. 87 miles an hour. Mashanik retires Kierwin for out number 1. So that'll bring up the center fielder Sam Meyer, who's having himself a really solid season. A .308 batting average to go along with a .907 OPS. He digs in from the right side with 1 out. Vivacqua maintains his short 6 to 8 foot lead off of first. As Mashanik kicks and fires, Vivacqua takes off fastball. It's bobbled by Gramesti. Called strike over the outside corner, but taking second on a stolen bag is Vivacqua. He advances into scoring position with 1 out. Vivacqua very solid in the RBI department as well. 5th on the Auburn Doubledays in RBIs. Check that, 6th. Colson Thompson leading the way, followed by Adam Sullivan. As the 0-1 with 1 out. Fastball outside corner at the hip, taken for a called strike 2. Mashanik going back to that same spot and nicely executing. Gramesti setting up over the outside corner, gets the fastball there. 85 miles an hour, nothing at 2 the count to the 3-hitter Meyer. Just underway, no score in the bottom of the first. Auburn threatening to draw first blood. Mashanik 1 peek at Vivacqua off a second. Rocks and fires the 0-2, a swing and a miss, a high fastball. Bryce getting back nicely after the opening walk as he retires 2 in a row via the K. So a very potent Meyer is down swinging, and in the cleanup role, it'll bring up right-handed hitting catcher Anthony DeCesare, the Delaware commit who spent his time growing up in Yorktown Heights, New York. He'll come to the plate here, one of the youngest Doubledays, but he's assumed a lot of time this season. 15 starts, predominantly at the catcher position. 19 hits, 7 extra base hits, and 13 RBIs. A .464 slug percentage to go along with that as well. Only trailing Tyler Vivacqua in the slug percentage department for any Doubleday that's played 10 games or more. Breaking ball, nice stop in the dirt from Gramesti. 1-0 the count. As Mashanik spun one in. That was taken below the belt from DeCesare. So 1-0 the count with 2 outs. Pioneers looking to get out of the inning unscathed. No hits for Auburn, but a runner on due to the leadoff walk from Mashanik. 1-0 offering fouled straight back to the screen. 1-1 the count with 2 outs. A nice crowd filing in here in Auburn. 2 days prior to Independence Day, the Auburn Doubledays playing some good baseball. They enter tonight's ball game 13-8-2, good enough for 3rd place in the PGCBL West Division. Elmira reeling in 5 of their last 6 ball games, dropping it following that 4-game win streak. Fought off into shallow center field. That's going to dunk in front of Fadovich for a base hit. Rounding third and coming to the plate, easily scoring is Vivacqua. An RBI single off the bat of DeCesare. For him, RBI number 14 on the season, and the Doubledays lead 1-0. So the walk comes back to bite. Just like Nate Krutkow alluded to, cannot be walking guys in really any situation. More than 40% of walks come around to score. It does here in the first inning. So Pioneers trail Auburn 1-0. As Mashanik comes set right side of the rubber, he'll deal with the lefty Adam Sullivan with 2 outs. That one line back up the middle out of the extended reach of both Grabowski and Moniz into center field for a base hit. Fadovich camps in quickly. He'll fire to Grabowski. 2 on now with 2 outs. 2 quick hits for Auburn and a run home through 2/3 of an inning against Mashanik. So to be Max Fishbein, the first baseman, to step to the dish. A right-handed hitter, batting .258 on the season across 11 ball games. Fishbein solid in the RBI department as well. 8 hits, an extra base hit, and 6 RBIs. For Fishbein, a .395 on base percentage to go along with that as well. DeCesare leads off a second, Sullivan off a first, as the fastball over the inside corner fouled first base side out of play from Fishbein. 0-1 the count. We're in the bottom of the first inning, just underway here in Auburn. Doubledays ahead of the Pioneers, 1-0 on the RBI single back up the middle off the bat of Anthony DeCesare. He's off a first. Rather, he's off a second. Sullivan's off a first. As the fastball just misses off the outside corner. 1-1 the count. It'll be Fishbein Should he reach, it'll be Troy Reeder to come to the plate next. Product out of the University of Notre Dame. As Mashanek misses low and inside with the fastball. 2-1 the count. For Bryce, this is one of the few times he's had to labor. That's how strong he's been across 10 1/3 innings of work. Now 11 full innings. Not many earned runs still to his name as the next offering fouled back by Fishbein. 2-2 the count. Mashanek has been money out of the bullpen for any Pioneer who has pitched 5 relief innings or more, the 3rd best ERA. And that's for the entire Pioneers pitching staff. You have to factor in Owen Hoyt's brilliant 9 2/3 innings of work, where he's only allowed 1 earned run and struck out 11. Mashanek has been in that category as, for the most part, he's maintained control of the first inning prior to the 2 consecutive hits. After the leadoff walk to Vivacqua, Kieran and Meyer struck out. Vivacqua also advancing himself into scoring position via the stolen base. One of the few bobbles behind home plate from TJ Grimesti as well. Payoff pitch with 2 outs. It's low in the dirt. Gets to the backstop on an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. That's the 2nd walk of the inning issued by Bryce Mashanek. And the atmosphere just becomes just a bit more pulsating now. Death siren starting to play here on the loudspeaker at Falcon Park as DeCesare advances to 3rd. Sullivan is at 2nd. Fishbein is at 1st, so the middle 3rd in the Doubledays order reaching in consecutive plate appearances, and that'll bring up the 7-hitter in Troy Reeder. Reeder, the product out of Jesuit High School in Tampa, Florida, digs in from the right side against the righty, righty Mashanek, and firing a fastball high and reaching up to catch it nicely as Grimesti, as he came way well out of his crouch. High fastball in tight to Reeder. Want to know the count? Reeder, a .250 hitter, 2 RBIs across 10 starts on the season. Mashanek peeks in, gets his sign, comes set from the stretch position, deep breath right side of the rubber, and the fastball fired high by Bryce. 2-0 the count. Middle infield's on the edge of the outfield turf. 10 steps behind the bag at 3rd is Hammer. 20 feet behind the bag at 1st is Palmer. Outfield at medium depth. A line shot down the left field line. That's going to hook way foul, but a nice piece nonetheless from the EH Reeder on a 2-0 count. You could see that power from the product out of the University of Notre Dame. A long, long foul ball off his bat. Reeder, a collegiate baseball 2023 second-team All-American and the University of Notre Dame. He takes a fastball in the outside corner for a called strike 2. His brother Trey Reeder, also a player at the University of Notre Dame in football. So, comes from a very athletic background. Spending his summer here with the Auburn Doubledays. 2-2 the count from Mashanek to the right-handed hitting Reeder with 2 outs. A check swing from Reeder. Did he go around? Field umpire says no swing. So it'll be a full count with 2 outs. A run home in the inning. 2 walks and 2 hits for Auburn. Vivacqua led off with a walk. Consecutive strikeouts from Kieran and Meyer. An RBI single off the bat of DeCesare following the stolen base from Vivacqua. A single from Sullivan and a walk from Fishbein. Had to have a set up. Nowhere to put Reeder. Payoff pitch with 2 outs. A high pop. And the Pioneers might get out of the inning. No, they will not for the moment as Hammer gives it a peek. Goes out 3rd base side. A lot of kids on hand here at the ballpark tonight. Gorgeous night at Falcon Park. We're glad he could spend part of it with us. It'll be a payoff pitch with 2 outs. Righty-on-righty matchup. Mashanek has had to labor through the first inning. He'll look to get his ender here on Reeder. Bryce kicks and fires a high pop-up. Will that stay in? No, that will not either, as that goes out 3rd base side. Mashanek in the 10 1/3 innings of work did have 4 hit batsmen though, so despite minimal walks, sometimes could lose a little bit of control with the fastball around the strike zone as he fires the payoff pitch here low and away for a ball 4. A run comes in to score. That's DeCesare on the 3rd walk of the inning. Sullivan advances to 3rd. Fishbein to 2nd. Troy Reeder with a base on balls. The 3rd walk of the inning, and out comes Andrew Drum to the mound. Doubledays ahead 2-0 here over the Pioneers. Elmira 0-2 at Falcon Park on the season, 1-3 against Auburn. If there's any team that has been their kryptonite clearing by far so far on the season, it's either the Auburn Doubledays or the Batavia Muck Dogs. Both the Pioneers 1-3 against each, 0-2 on the road, 1-1 at home, so ironic enough, the split's very similar for the Pioneers against both squads who sit ahead of them right now. Obviously, Niagara Falls has maintained comfortable positioning, and Frank Jagoda's squad in Jamestown, the Tarp Skunks, on a 4-game heater. They're at 14-10 now, so the ante's been upped. You have the Newark Pilots not too far behind in 6th place. Pioneers will see them later this week on the 4th of July from Colburn Park. Once again, a very busy stretch of baseball kicks off for the Pios tonight. Here's Gianni DeCerbo with 2 outs. He swings and fouls it back to the screen. 0-1 the count. DeCerbo, a very strong hitter in his time at Hamilton College, has played 2 seasons for the Continentals. He's up here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. DeCerbo possessing a .398 batting average across 28 games in the NESCAC this year with Hamilton, a .627 slug percentage. For DeCerbo, he's translated over relatively nice to a Doubleday uniform as the 0-1 fastball misses off the outside corner. 1-1 the count. DeCerbo 7 hits, an extra base hit, and 7 RBIs across only 7 starts, 11 games played. So with a small sample size, DeCerbo, his batting average considerably down, but a consistent contributor in other facets of his game. And he lines one here down the right field line. That's going to be a base hit out of the reach of Smith and roll into the right field corner. Coming in to easily score is Sullivan Fishbein right behind him. Troy Reeder comes to the plate. The throw comes to 3rd, where being tagged out is DeCerbo, but the run does count, so it's going to be a 3-run double on the 3rd hit of the inning, and that will do it in the home half of the 1st. So a tough start for the Pioneers. 5 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and because of DeCerbo getting thrown out at 3rd, 1 runner left on base. We've played an inning here in Auburn. The Doubledays ahead 5-0 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Hey Bios fans, are you hungry and looking for an amazing place to eat, get great drinks, and incredible service? Be sure then to come to Texas Roadhouse on County Route 64 in Horseheads. Pioneers down 5-0 as we head to the top of the 2nd inning. Owen Burchard on for his 2nd frame of work, fires a breaking ball over the outer edge. Cooper Smith to dig in, takes a called strike. In the top of the 2nd, it'll be Cooper Smith followed by Anthony Manganiello and Brett Baker, the 5, 6, and 7 in the Elmira order. As the breaking ball is fired off the plate, Cooper takes a ball and a strike. 1-1, a swing and a miss Burchard with a fastball over the outside corner. Smith cuts through it. 1-2 the count. And that's a nasty change in speed. Goes with a 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball and then an 87-mile-an-hour heater on Smith. 1-2 the count with nobody out. As Burchard kicks and fires, a swing and a miss in the dirt. Getting inside positioning is the catcher DeCesare. He throws down to first in time to retire Cooper for out number 1. So the second strikeout of the ball game, the first swinging for the righty Burchard through an inning and a third. And with the bases empty and 1 out here in the top of the second, that'll bring up Anthony Manganiello to the plate. Anthony on the season batting .220 across 15 ball games. 9 hits, 2 extra base hits, and 14 RBIs. Team leader in that category as he takes breaking ball down and in. And you can see why Manganiello is the team leader in that category. Even some of his outs have been incredibly loud contact. On Sunday afternoon against Niagara Falls, he put a charge into one deep in the right center field gap. That was caught by Niagara's Evan Core on just an acrobatic play to rob Manganiello of extra bases. Anthony takes the first 2 offerings low and inside, so 2-0 the count as Burchard working quickly fires in a dribbler. Hit to the right side of the mound, diving and throwing on a bounce to first. Holding on at first base is Fishbein in time. What a play made by Burchard, the Doubledays pitcher, for out number 2. And Manganiello's got some pretty good speed. Anthony was booking it down the line there. It looked like he might have reached, but an unbelievable play. Diving to his backhand side was the pitcher Burchard. From his knees, made an off-balance throw on one hop to first base. Picked nicely, an extended stretch by Fishbein. So 2 quick outs now here in the top of the second. I'll bring up the lefty-hitting Brett Baker. .284 batting average with the Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth on the season. Swings and misses through an 82-mile-an-hour changeup. 0-1 the count. Doubledays with a 5-run, 3-hit bottom of the first inning. 3 walks and 2 strikeouts in the ball game to begin for Bryce Mashanik. So an unconventional beginning for Bryce and the Pioneers, especially considering how reliable Mashanik has been all year. Been one of the most dominant relief pitchers the Pioneers have had. And it's also a credit, too, to just how strong the Doubledays offense is. Every game this season have given the Pioneers pitching staff fits, and that's a Pio's pitching staff that has really found their footing. They've gotten to a really good status lately, especially look at the performances of the aforementioned Bryce Mashanik, Casey Julkowski, Garrett Rochon, a lot of guys who have contributed in and out of the lineup each day as Baker watches 2 balls and fouls the next offering back to the backstop. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Righty on lefty matchup with 2 outs and the bases empty. Top of the second, Auburn ahead of Elmira 5-0. Burchard comes set from the stretch position. Right side of the rubber winds and fires and dribbled on the ground wide of first. Down to the first base coaching box, Nate Krukow with a nice four-handed play. Tosses over towards the Pios dugout. So it'll be a 2-2 with 2 outs to Baker. Brett came in pinch-hitting appearance on Saturday night, the 10-5 loss to Batavia, but had an RBI single that drove in Brooks Hicken in the top of the 8th. Fastball taken high from Burchard. That was the Auburn right-hander's fastest pitch of the evening, 89 miles an hour. As Brett Baker works the count full. 2 outs, top of the second. 333 on the season, 2 hits across 6 plate appearances, and Brett takes high for ball 4. So that on-base percentage of 333 will climb up as the second consecutive inning with a base runner for Elmira. Baker's off at first with 2 outs, and here comes Jacob Moniz. Moniz, one of the most level-headed, consistent contributors in this Pioneers lineup, can play astute second base, possessing a .267 batting average on the season. For Jacob, 11 ball games, 30 at-bats, 8 hits, 4 runs scored, and 4 RBIs. Jacob still searching for that first extra base hit of the season, batting .395. Burchard kicks and fires from the right side of the rubber, breaking ball taken low by Jacob. 1-0 the count. No runs on a hit and no errors for the Pioneers. 5 runs on 2 hits and no errors for the Doubledays. Should say 3 hits because in the bottom of the first, you had the RBI single from DeCesare, the single from Adam Sullivan, and then the 3-run double down the line from Gianni DeCervo. So 2-0 the count as Moniz takes high on an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. A short lead for Brett Baker off of first base. A high fly ball deep down the right field line. That's going to sail foul into the Pioneers bullpen. 2-2 the count. Have not seen Baker steal yet this season. Brendan Hammer awaits on deck. So it'll be a 2-2 to Moniz with 2 outs. As Burchard comes set from the right side of the rubber, winds and fires. Breaking ball dropped in for a called strike, rather as a 2-1 pitch, so 2-2 the count with 2 outs. Doubledays looking to earn their second consecutive scoreless inning to begin the ball game. As Burchard comes set, he'll deal a 2-2 to Moniz, taking off as Baker. Breaking ball in the dirt, taken low, and that's a stolen base for Brett Baker. They check their swing. Field umpire says no swing. So a stolen base for Brett, his first of the season, as he advances into scoring position. It'll be a payoff pitch on the way to Moniz with 2 outs. As we mentioned, 4 RBIs for Moniz across 11 ball games. Moniz splitting some time with, or more than just splitting, Brendan Hammer, Liam O'Neill, even Ty Martineau. 4 different Pioneers on the depth chart. Starting at the second base position this year, it's been more consistently Jacob as of late. Payoff pitch from Burchard with 2 outs. Fastball taken high for ball 4. So the first walk of the ball game, second walk now of the ball game issued by the right-hander Burchard. That's how Baker got aboard. So 2 on for Elmira with 2 outs. They'll look to cook up a 2-run rally in the form of Brendan Hammer coming to the plate. For Brendan, he's played in 10 ball games, started in 9. 6 hits, 3 extra base hits, and 9 RBIs. First pitch with 2 outs, breaking ball outside corner, taken for a called strike. Hammer watching it at the letters, 0-1. It'll be an 0-1 with 2 outs. Baker off a second. Burchard 1 peek at him. Kicks and fires. Inside. 1-1 the count to Hammer. In the inning, a strikeout swinging from Smith. A grounder back to the mound and Manganiello. And then a walk from Baker. A walk from Moniz. So the bottom of the Pioneers order looking to make good of their opportunity. With Elmira down 5. An inning and 2/3 into the outing of Burchard. There's a swing and a miss from Hammer. A high and inside 88-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-2 the count on Brendan. Burchard comes set and delivers. Fastball off the plate, 2-2. So Baker registering his first stolen base as an Elmira Pioneer. Pios would not attempt to pull off a double steal with 2 outs. If they did, Moniz some good speed as well. 2 stolen bases on the season for him. So certainly a threat on a pass ball or wild pitch. Pios will look to strike though with the bat here in the form of Hammer. Breaking ball taken low. A nice at bat being worked by Hammer, and it's a full count. Should Burchard fire ball forward, be the 3rd consecutive walk. Dylan Fatovich patiently awaits on deck. He rounds out the Elmira batting order this evening. Payoff pitch on the way with 2 outs. A high fly ball deep down the right field line. That's going to sail foul into Elmira's bullpen. So it'll remain a full count with 2 outs. Mentioned the Pioneers 4-6 on the road. Road lately has not been their friend following a 3-2 start in 5 ball games, a loss in the back end of the doubleheader at Jamestown last Sunday, an 11-1 loss here at Auburn, then a 10-5 loss at Batavia on Saturday, 3-0 win in Game 1 against Niagara Falls, and then they dropped the back end of the doubleheader 7-6. Payoff pitch on the way from Burchard to Hammer with 2 outs, a high pop-up first base side, giving it a long look as Fishbein over near the stands, reaches up against the patio, just rolls foul. So Hammer stays alive. Another great at-bat being worked by Brendan. Indicative of his numbers, a .412 on base percentage. And not a small sample size at this point. He's had 28 at-bats as a Pioneer. He's walked 4 times, gotten plunked twice while only striking out 3 times in those 28 plate appearances. A .286 batting average for the Temperance, Michigan native. Let's see what he does. Payoff pitch, outside corner, called strike 3. As Hammer departs to the dugout, that concludes the inning for Burchard and the Doubledays. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 3 in the ball game for the Auburn right-hander. For Elmira, no runs and no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. An inning and a half through, Auburn leads 5-0 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Five 0 Auburn leads as we head to the bottom of the second inning. As Tyler Young steps to the plate for Auburn. A 5-run bottom of the first off of Bryce Mashanik. Pioneers get 2 on via the walk in the top of the second. Cannot convert a run as a fastball inside. 2-0 the count. It'll be the 9, 10, and 1 in the Auburn order due up against Mashanik. Young followed by Vasquez and Tyler Vivacqua, the second baseman. A swing and a miss. 2-1 the count to Young. Popped up, shallow right field. In charges Smith, settles under and puts it away for out number 1. So Young's retired, and that'll bring up the righty hitting third baseman Alex Vasquez. Vasquez batting .219 across 13 total ball games, 11 starts, 7 hits, an extra base hit, and 7 RBIs, the .395 on base percentage. Mashanik kicks and fires, righty on righty matchup, and the fastball high and away. 1-0 the count. Swing and a half swing and a miss, and a fastball high and in tight. 1-1 the count. Pioneers a hit in the ball game came off the bat of TJ Germesti in the top of the first. 3 base runners have reached for Elmira, so they've gotten traffic, but they've stranded all 3 to begin the ball game. Fastball inside, 2-1 the count with 1 out. Mashanik working quickly out of the windup, kicks and fires, fastball high and away. 3-1 to Vasquez. After Vasquez, it'll turn over to the top of the batting order in Tyler Vivacqua. 3 walks in the bottom of the first. for the Pioneers righty. He looks to get back in the count here. Delivers, and it's high for ball 4. So the second consecutive inning with a walk for Mashanek, 4th in the ball game through an inning and a third. And it'll roll it back to the top of the order in Vivacqua. Vivacqua, one of the 4 Doubledays to walk in the ball game against Mashanek. He'll dig in from the left side with one out. And the Pioneers trailing by 5. In all fairness to Elmira, though, Auburn has done their part on their home field this year. A 10-1 record. 10 of their 13 wins have come from right here at Falcon Park. Shannon kicks and delivers, swinging a foul back to the screen. 0-1 the count. Pioneers would like to thank AJ's Outdoor Power Equipment for being the official motorsport provider for your back-to-back West Division champion Pioneers. Visit them today at 1669 South Main Street in Mansfield, Pennsylvania. 0-1 the count. Righty on lefty matchup with one out. Swart lead off of first base for Alex Vasquez. Fastball taken outside. 4-1 from Vasquez. The changeup from Mashanek. That had good run to it, just missed off the corner. 75 miles an hour from the Elmira right-hander. 1-1 with one out. Runner takes off. Fastball high. Grimesti fires down to second. Picked high by Krabowski. Not in time as sliding in ahead of the throw was Vasquez. A stolen base for him. Already the second in the ball game for the Doubledays. Tyler Vivacqua had one in the bottom of the first. So Vasquez is in scoring position with one out. A 2-1 count to the left-handed hitting Vivacqua in the leadoff spot. For Vivacqua, 10 RBIs. We mentioned the 5 extra base hits, including a homer. 2-1. Hit on the ground to first. Palmer picks it on a hop. He'll take it to the bag himself. A long 20-foot run. He comes close to Vivacqua as is a bit of a foot race to the bag. Palmer just beating him by a hair for the second out. In the process, Vasquez advances to third. So 2 outs and another run for Auburn, potentially 90 feet away. As the play goes 3 unassisted, Tommy Kierwin comes to the plate. Second straight lefty at the top of the order for Auburn this evening. Infield backs up, outfield at medium depth. With 2 outs, Mashanek looking to work through a scoreless inning. 19 hits for Kierwin and 7 RBIs. A .426 on-base percentage as Mashanek fires a breaking ball low in the dirt, 1-0. Grimesti was setting up over the inside corner. That moved to the outer third. A nice job moving east-west there from the Pioneers catcher to potentially save a run. 1-0 the count. Fastball swing and a miss over the outside corner. Nice pitch from Bryce, 1-1. Kierwin, one of the 2 strikeout victims in the ball game against Mashanek. Bryce working back in the count nicely in the bottom of the first to retire the Doubledays left fielder. As he kicks and fires here with 2 outs, fisted off the end of the bat. It's a jam shot, looped foul down the third base line. Hammer gives it a look at a play, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes to the count with 2 outs. Home half of the second. Auburn ahead 5-0, pressing for more. Mashanek looking to pitch a scoreless inning. Instrain Vasquez on third. Next offering fouled off. Third base side out of play. Staying alive is the lefty hitting Kierwin. It remains a ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 with 2 outs. Fastball off the outside corner, 2-2. 85-mile-an-hour fastball from Mashanek. Pioneers bullpen getting warm. Mashanek comes set from the right side of the rubber. Rocks and fires. Just fouled off right back to the screen. Getting a piece of it to stay alive was Kierwin. So it remains 2-2 in the inning. No hits for the Doubledays. A walk from Vasquez. Stole second and then advanced to third on a grounder to Michael Palmer at first off the bat of the leadoff hitter Vivacqua. Staying alive on the 7th pitch of the at-bat is Tommy Kierwin. He'll see an 8th pitch now from Mashanek as a 75-mile-an-hour changeup was roped back to the screen. So Tommy Kierwin certainly on Mashanik's off speed. Hasn't converted it yet. 2-2 with 2 outs in the dirt. Fastball blocked by Gramesti as he keeps it in front of him, and he keeps Vasquez on third. So it'll be a full count to Kierwin with 2 outs. Righty and lefty matchup. Mashanik comes set and delivers the payoff pitch and a high fly ball to right field. Smith goes back on his horse a couple steps in front of the warning track and puts it away for the final out at the bottom of the second inning. For Auburn, no runs on no hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. We'll take it to the third. Doubledays ahead 5-0 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Pioneers trail 5-0 as we head to the top of the third inning from Falcon Park in Auburn. It'll be the 10-1-2 due up in the Elmira order. Dylan Fatovich followed by Aiden Grabowski and Ty Martineau as rocking and firing a fastball from the right-hander Burchard to Dylan Fatovich, missing high. 1-0 the count. Burchard working quickly, fires outside corner, called strike one. For Dylan on the season, he's batting .225 across 13 games, 9 hits. No extra base hits and an RBI. Swung on and missed. 1-2 the count. Burchard got through the top of the first relatively unscathed. Got a fly ball, a strikeout, a single off the bat of Gramesti, and a fly ball from Palmer. And a strikeout from Smith to begin the second. A 1-3 put out Manganiello, 2 straight walks, and then a K. That one spanked on the line. Diving stop at second base, getting to his feet and firing Vivacqua, unable to be picked in the dirt by Fishbein, and now taken off for second base is Fatovich. He'll get there, so it'll be an E4 after a beautiful diving stop from Vivacqua. Nonetheless, he wasn't able to make the play, or complete it rather, shall I say, as Fatovich advances into scoring position on an E4. First error of the ballgame committed by either side. And now a runner in scoring position for Aiden Grabowski at the top of the Pioneer batting order. Grabowski with 12 RBIs on the season. Tied for second with TJ Gramesti, just trailing Anthony Manganiello by 2 RBIs. Pios trail 5-0, a 5-run bottom of the first for the Doubledays. Pioneers possessing a team-wide .259 batting average across 22 games, lined to shortstop. Adam Sullivan had it right into his glove. A nice piece from Grabowski, nonetheless, results in 1 out. So here comes Ty Martineau to the plate. Ty struck out looking in the top of the first. Good RBI opportunity for the Jacksonville, Florida native. As we mentioned, entering tonight's game, .361 batting average, only an RBI on the season. Started in 11 ball games. A high fly ball to shallow left center. Coming in as the center fielder, Meyer. He calls off Kieran and puts it away for out number 2. So off the end of the bat from Ty. Grabowski lines to shortstop. And Martineau flies out to shallow left center following Fadovich reaching on the error. Still a runner in scoring position, and here comes Grimesti. TJ a single back up the middle in the top of the first. If he replicates the same here, it'll bring home the first run of the ball game for Elmira. Burchard, 2 2/3 innings of work. The lone hit was to the aforementioned Grimesti. Breaking ball line back up the middle into center field once again for a base hit. Fadovich is going to round third. He'll stop right there. A nice cutoff throw came right into the catcher DeCesare from Meyer. So a 2-out single as Fadovich is off of third. Grimesti off of first. Runners on the corners with 2 out for Elmira, and that'll bring up the lefty swinging first baseman Michael Palmer. Mike entering tonight's game batting .333 across 11 ball games. 10 hits, 3 extra base hits, a homer, and 9 RBIs. For Mike, a .985 OPS on the season. Been quite the offensive threat while playing very formidable first base defensively. Righty and lefty matchup, Grimesti takes off for second. Fastball outside, no throw made from the catcher DeCesare. Grimesti advances. Another stolen base for TJ on the season. That's now a team leading 12th for him. So Fadovich off of third, Grimesti off of second. 2 in scoring position for Palmer, who's 4th on the Pioneers in RBIs, trailing Smith, Grabowski, Grimesti, and Anthony Manganiello. As the fastball just misses inside from Burchard to Palmer with 2 outs. Mike takes and steps out of the box. 2-0 the count. Pioneers with a single here could cut the deficit to 3. 2-0 from Burchard. A swing and a line drive into right field. That's a base hit. Fadovich scores. Grimesti coasts around third. He'll come to the plate. He'll score a 2-run single for Palmer. And the Pios make it 5-2. So a nice rally being pieced together with 2 outs by the Pioneers. Grimesti singles, then advances into scoring position off the stolen base. Fadovich comes in easily. Grimesti behind him. 2-run single for Palmer. Now 11 RBIs for Mike. And with 2 outs and a runner on first, that'll bring up Cooper Smith, who takes the breaking ball inside from Burchard. 1-0 the count. Righty on righty matchup. 2 2/3 into the outing for the Auburn right-hander. Pioneers have now scored 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 earned run. For Burchard in the ball game, he's got himself 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. So the walks came back to bite Bryce Mashanik in the bottom of the first. Rather, here it's the Doubledays defense, as it was an error made by the second baseman Vivacqua that allowed Fadovich to originally advance. Line drive right to the second baseman Vivacqua, and that will do it in the inning. For the Pioneers, 2 runs on 2 hits, an error, and a runner left on base. 2.5 through. Auburn ahead 5-2 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Auburn for the bottom of the third inning. Pioneers do a nice job cutting into the deficit in the visitors' half. 2 on with 2 outs for Michael Palmer as he drives in a 2-run single. Spanking a line drive over second base into right. Bryce Mashanik on for his third inning of work as he fires a 62-mile-an-hour breaking ball high and in tight. Ducking out of the way was the right-handed hitting Sam Meyer. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 in the Auburn order to come to the plate in the bottom of the third. Sam Meyer followed by the catcher Anthony DeCesare. Adam Sullivan, the shortstop, as the 1-0 offering is fouled off against the first base dugout. 1-1 the count. Meyer struck out in the bottom of the first inning against Mashanik. Bryce so far 5 earned runs on 3 hits. No errors in the ballgame for the Pioneers. 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. He fires fouled back to the screen, rather. 4 walks and 2 strikeouts for Mashanik. 1-2 the count on Sam Meyer as Meyer fouls back the second consecutive offering he sees. One, 2 with nobody out. Breaking ball taken in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Meyer, 465 on base percentage through 17 ball games, 16 hits, and 6 extra base hits. 2-2, swing and a miss. Breaking ball at the knees as Meyer cuts through it. That's 1 out in the bottom of the third. So in the ball game, the 3rd strikeout for Mashanik. Here comes Anthony DeCesare. Doubledays catcher swinging it from the right side. Base is empty. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 5-2, the Doubledays lead the Pioneers in the 5th matchup of the season between Auburn and Elmira. First pitch from Mashanik, fouled back to the screen from DeCesare. 0-1 the count. For the Pioneers, they have 2 runs on 2 hits and no errors. For the Doubledays, 5 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. Mashanik kicks and fires. That one fisted off the end of the bat down to Hammer at third. He throws across the diamond in time for out number 2. So a nice, quick and easy beginning for Mashanik here in the bottom of the third, who's settled in nicely after the 5-run bottom of the first. 2 outs for the lefty hitting shortstop Adam Sullivan. Mashanik kicks and fires, fastball high and inside. Sullivan takes 1-0 the count. Sullivan singled in the bottom of the first and came around to score. Batting .245 on the season, 20 starts, 13 hits, an extra base hit, and 14 RBIs. 1-0, breaking ball off the plate. Mashanik going off his 85-mile-an-hour fastball, firing that one at 73. 2-0 the count, righty on lefty matchup with 2 outs. Mashanik kicks and fires, a swing and a miss. Fastball over the outer third. Gets Sullivan to cut through it, 2-1 the count. Mashanik fires, inside corner, called strike 2. Fastball beautifully spotted at the letters. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. Mashanik looking to complete a 1-2-3 frame and keep the Auburn lead at 3. Ground ball up the middle. Grabowski's going to range, and it trickles into center field for a base hit just out of the extended reach of Aiden at shortstop. Fadovich retrieves and fires back in, limiting Adam Sullivan to a 2-out single. Second hit of the ballgame for Sullivan. He's now 2 for 2. 4th hit overall for Auburn through 2 2/3 innings of work against Mashanik. Pioneers bullpen has quieted down in hopes that Bryce can continue to give the Pioneers now a solid outing. Keep Elmira within striking distance. Only a 3-run ball game when all's said and done, despite the mayhem of the bottom of the first inning. So the Pioneers in a potentially good position to come back, especially should they hold them here after a nice 2-run rally in the third. Breaking ball inside, 1-0 the count to the righty hitting first baseman Max Fishbein. Fishbein in his first trip to the plate, a walk, and he came around to score in the bottom of the first as well. 1-0, snap throw back to first from Mashanik to Palmer. Fans, be sure to tune in right here on the Pioneers Baseball Network again tomorrow evening as your back-to-back West Division champion Elmira Pioneers return to Dunfield, taking on the Auburn Doubledays. Our live coverage kicks off with Pioneers pregame at 5:55. Fastball inside corner called strike one. Throw down to second on a stolen base attempt by Sullivan. He gets in time. Just ahead of the throw from Gramesti, another solid dot from the Pioneers catcher nonetheless. The count goes to 1-1, a runner in scoring position for Fishbein with 2 outs. Auburn, all 5 of their runs came at the bottom of the first. Elmira, their 2 runs came at the top of the third. 1-1 to Fishbein, fastball taken high, 2-1. Fishbein on the season 6 RBIs across 11 ball games and 31 plate appearances, 8 hits, and an extra base hit. Fishbein coming in, batting .258 at .395 on base percentage. 2-1 from Mashanik. Grounded down to third. Brendan Hammer on 2 hops, throws across the diamond in time to complete the bottom of the third inning. So for Auburn, they get a runner on and in scoring position, but strand it. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. 3 innings through, 5-2 Doubledays on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Auburn as we get you set for the top of the 4th inning. Anthony Manganiello will step to the plate for Elmira against Owen Burchard, who kicks and fires a fastball off the outside edge. Manganiello takes 1-0 the count. For Anthony, he grounded back to the mound on an athletic play made to the backhand side by the pitcher Burchard, who had to range about 20 feet to make it, but made an unbelievable throw. Was from his backside, threw on 1 hop, using the turf as his best friend to Max Fishbein at first to complete what was an acrobatic play for the then second out of the top of the 2nd inning, as he now fires 2 consecutive fastballs. Now that's 3 off the plate. 3-0 the count with nobody out. Doubledays with a 5-run bottom of the 1st against Bryce Mashanik out of his conventional relief role positioning. An Auburn Doubledays offense that's been incredibly formidable, especially against the Pioneers this season. As you look at about 26 innings of work for the Doubledays, there's a swing and a miss from Manganiello. So working back nicely with a fastball and then a breaking ball is Burchard. The count goes from 3-0 to 3-2. It'll be a payoff pitch from Burchard, righty on lefty, with nobody out. Manganiello reaches out and pokes it on the ground to second. On a couple hops, it's Vivacqua over to first in time for out number 1. So Manganiello's retired for the 2nd time of the ball game. A ground out for Anthony. 6, 7, and 8 in the Pioneers' order here in the top of the 4th inning against Burchard. Elmira down 5-2 in jeopardy of dropping their 4th ball game out of their opening 5 against the 3rd-place Doubledays this season. 2nd consecutive lefty to step to the dish. Here in the visitors' half of the 4th, it's Brett Baker. As a fastball taken high by Brett. A ball and no strikes. Brett, one of 2 Pioneers to reach base via the walk. That came at the top of the second inning. Brett Baker with his first stolen base as a Pioneer in the first at-bat as he pops one up shallow right field, ranging out as a second baseman Vivacqua, shading the sun. In comes the center fielder Meyer, who calls off the rest of the outfield and Vivacqua as he had everybody crashing in there. He had the right fielder DeCerbo, center fielder Meyer, and Vivacqua out of the Bermuda Triangle. Meyer said, "Hey, I have the best angle," called the rest of them off and made the play for out number 2. So 2 quick outs in the top of the 4th to 8 Owen Burchard's pitch count. Auburn's bullpen remains relatively quiet. One arm starting to slowly get loose as the right-handed hitting Jacob Moniz steps to the plate. Base is empty. Fastball inside corner taken for a called strike. Nice cut to seam over the inner edge. He had Moniz step back with the knees as he thought I was running a little bit inside and hitting him, but that's just a nasty movement of the right-hander Burchard's two-seamer as he rocks and fires a swing and a miss. He took more life off that. A 79-mile-an-hour breaking ball induces a cut from Moniz, 0-2. Moniz also a walk in the top of the second inning. He was stranded on first. Elmira got their 2 runs off a Michael Palmer single in the top of the 3rd. 0-2 the count with the bases empty and 2 outs, top of the 4th. Burchard kicks and fires, breaking ball just off the inside corner. Jacob takes wisely at the knees. 1-2 the count to the Rhode Island College junior. Gorgeous evening, nice crowd on hand. Nearing 4th of July weekend. 2 teams in relatively solid playoff positioning. Curveball inside corner, called strike 3. So Moniz takes, and that concludes a perfect 1-2-3 top half of the 4th inning for Owen Burchard. No runs and no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. We played 3.5 here at Falcon Park in Auburn. Doubledays lead the Pioneers 5-2 here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Troy Reeder comes to the plate for Auburn. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 in the Auburn order, due up against Bryce Mashanik, who settled in nicely after a 5-run, 3-hit bottom of the 1st inning. Hasn't allowed a hit since. Only 1 base runner in the last 2 innings. It came via a walk in the bottom of the 2nd. It'll be Reeder followed by DeCerbo and Young, the 7, 8, and 9 in the Doubledays order, as Reeder fouls off the breaking ball over the inner 3rd, nicely executed by Mashanik. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Reeder in the EH role tonight also does some catching out of the University of Notre Dame. Former second-team All-American in collegiate baseball in 2023 with the Fighting Irish as he takes a breaking ball low and away, 1-2 the count. Righty-on-righty matchup with the bases empty. Bottom of the 4th inning, Doubledays lead the Pioneers 5-2. Mashanik rocks and fires from the right side of the rubber, and the breaking ball chopped back to the screen. Staying alive in the count is Reeder. Auburn's done a nice job working the count against Bryce Mashanik tonight. We mentioned Bryce not in a usual starter's role, but making the most of it tonight, giving the Pioneers some long relief almost, if you will, in the starter role. So a nice job by the right-hander out of SUNY Niagara as he induces a pop-up off the end of the bat from Reeder. Crashing in at first base is Palmer as he backs up and calls everyone off. The rest of the infield puts it away for out number 1. Bit of a scare there as Palmer on the pop-up didn't realize he had to track back a few steps. He made a last-second over-the-shoulder grab. So 1 out, and the bases remain empty. Here in the bottom of the 4th, it'll be Gianni DeCerbo to step to the dish. Right fielder out of Hamilton College, a 3-run double in the bottom of the 1st. Broke the game open against Mechanic and the Pioneers at the time. Breaking ball, fouled back to the screen, 0-1 the count. In the ball game for the Pioneers, 2 runs on 2 hits and no errors. For the Doubledays, 5 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. That's rather show and bunt. And taking a called strike 2 is DeCerbo. A 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball that shot in at the knees. For Bryce in the ball game, he's got 4 walks and 3 strikeouts across 3 1/3 innings of work. Pioneers still with some work to do. A really brilliant 1-2-3 top of the 4th inning. From the right-hander Owen Burchard, he got Anthony Manganiello to ground to second, Brett Baker to fly out to shallow center field, and got Jacob Moniz on the backwards K. Froze a beautiful hook over the inner third to freeze the Pioneers' second baseman. 1-2, rolled on the ground foul, third base side. Staying alive in the count is DeCerbo. We mentioned the .398 batting average with the Continentals this year, .627 slug percentage across 27 ball games for DeCerbo. Batting average just south of .260 here with Auburn. Swing and a miss, high fastball. Mechanic gets DeCerbo to cut through it. That's out number 2 in the inning, and the 4th strikeout in the ball game for Bryce. So here comes Tyler Young. He'll dig in from the right side. Auburn designated hitter with 2 outs. Flew out to right field, deep right, and Cooper Smith in the gap, as Cooper made a nice over-the-shoulder grab to the backhand side in the bottom of the 2nd. Missing high and away is Mechanic with the changeup. 1-0 the count. Gets back here with a swing and a miss. Fastball right down Broadway at 85. Bryce doing a nice job in deciphering between his off-speed and fastball all evening. 1-1 with 2 outs. Fouled back. 1-2 with the chance for Mechanic to complete his first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. Pioneers looking to keep the deficit minimal here at 3 runs. They've dropped 2 ball games at Auburn this year, one by the score of 11-1 last Wednesday, 10-5 back on June 7th. Fastball misses high and in tight. 2-2 the count. So 17 strikeouts and 14 innings of work for Mechanic. He looks to keep it going here, and he does. Make that 18 strikeouts through 14 1/3 innings of work for Bryce on the season as he retires the side in order. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 1 via the backwards K. And for Auburn, no runs on no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. We played 4 innings. Doubledays lead the Pioneers 5-2 here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Auburn as we get you set for the top of the fifth inning of action. That'll do it in the ball game for Owen Burchard. A new pitcher comes in. It's Wyatt Ernst, the right-hander. Final line of the ball game for the Auburn starter. 4 innings of work for Burchard. 3 hits, 2 runs on 2 earned, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Faced 18 batters. Season ERA for the righty Burchard came in at 3.13, and would imagine it would stay relatively around the same as he fared nicely across 4 innings of work. It's now Ernst to come into the ball game for Wyatt Ernst on the season. A 4.5 ERA, 0-1 record. 2 appearances, 1 start, 6 innings of work. He's given up 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, pitching to an opposing batting average of .259. For the Pioneers, they'll send the 9, 10, and 1 in their order to the plate. It'll be Brendan Hammer, followed by Dylan Fatovich and the leadoff man, Aiden Grabowski. Runs, hits, and errors in the ball game for Elmira. 2 runs on 2 hits and no errors. For Auburn, 5 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. Hammer batting .269, digs in from the right side against Ernst. Tall, lanky frame, working out of the stretch position. Rocks and fires, breaking ball off the outside edge. Brendan takes 1-0. So a 1-2-3 top half of the 4th inning concluded Owen Burchard's evening, as he got a ground ball, fly ball, and a backwards K to finish what was a 5 strikeout performance from him. 1-0 with nobody out. Fastball dribbled on the ground to the forehand side of third base. Nice play by Vasquez. Throws across the diamond with effort, or with minimal effort, shall I say, with ease, as he retires Hammer for out number 1. So Brendan grounds out, and that'll bring up Dylan Fatovich. Fatovich reached on an E4, throwing error made by Vivacqua in the top of the 2nd inning. In the process, Dylan came around to score on the RBI single off the bat of Michael Palmer. He digs in from the left side. Righty on lefty matchup with Ernst. 1 out and the base is empty. Fastball outside corner. Fatovich takes for a called strike. Pioneers trail 5-2. Doubledays got all 5 of their runs against Mashanik in the bottom of the 1st on 3 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts in the home half of the 1st for Bryce. Have been held scoreless since, so a nice job bouncing back from the Elmira starter. A spot start for Bryce tonight. He pitched last on Sunday. Pitched 2 scoreless innings of relief following Bobby Boying's brilliant 5-inning scoreless outing against first place Niagara Falls. 1-1 the count to Fatovich. Ernst taking a long time to come set. Different rhythm from his colleague and starting pitcher Owen Burchard, who was consistently firing about every 8 to 11 seconds he got back on the rubber. Ernst taking his sweet time here. 2 balls and a strike the count with 1 out. Fatovich awaits the next offering from Ernst, who kicks and fires. Fastball inside, bounced in the dirt. Nice pick on the backhand by De Cesare. 3-1 the count. Grabowski waits on deck. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. A fly ball to right field and a line out to shortstop. Good hitters count for Fatovich. 3-1 with 1 out. Fastball outside corner. Dylan takes for a called strike 2. So for Fatovich, it's batting .225, but still a relatively formidable on-base percentage of .367. He awaits the payoff pitch with 1 out. Ernst a deep breath, rocks and fires, and dribbled on the ground to shortstop. On the backhand side, charging in, it's Sullivan. Throw across the diamond, off balance, in time to nab Fatovich. What a play made by the shortstop Sullivan. Threw on a hop, another nice pick by the first baseman Max Fishbein. Turf also assisting in that put out. So 2 outs in the top of the 5th with the bases empty, and that'll bring up Aiden Grabowski. A litany of defensive web gems have been aiding the Auburn Doubledays pitching staff through the opening 4 2/3 of the ball game this evening. As Grabowski steps to the dish, looking for his first hit of the day. Aiden on the season, no stranger to finding a lot of success. We mentioned the .328 batting average, was PGCBL West Division Player of the Week just a week ago. 19 hits and 12 RBIs. Digs in from the right side with 2 outs. First offering a check swing inside home plate. Umpire calls it himself. Grabowski went around, 0-1 the count. So it was hit to the backhand side of the shortstop Sullivan, who charged on his forehand, made an off-balance throw to first, and a pick from Fishbein, who stretched the bag. He also stretched earlier on the nice play made by Owen Burchard when Anthony Manganiello was at the plate. As the 0-1 inside, that fastball almost clipping the jersey of Grabowski. Aiden takes, and it's a ball and a strike. Pioneers have gone 5 up, 5 down in their last inning and 2/3 against the righty Burchard and now the righty Ernst. Pioneers bullpen continues to remain quiet, which means Andrew Drum's just going to keep on optioning back to Bryce Mashanik, who has gone 3 straight scoreless innings after the 5-run bottom of the first from Auburn. In the game so far for Mashanik, 89 pitches, so most likely coming out soon, but if he can last through 5 innings of work, that would be the optimum decision for the Pioneers, although they do have most of their bullpen rested. Let's see with what Drum options with. Hit on one bounce to the shortstop. Sullivan ranges to his left, throws across the diamond, and it's not able to be picked by Fishbein. It might have just gone in and out of his glove, and it rolls all the way to the warning track. Grabowski in the process is going to advance to second on an E3 committed by the Doubledays first baseman. Second error of the ball game for Auburn, and that puts Aiden in scoring position for Ty Martineau. So it's Aiden's first time reaching in the ball game. Martineau steps to the dish with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. .361 batting average for Ty on the season, an RBI. Righty on lefty matchup. Outfield's playing relatively deep, so a base hit with the turf and the speed of Grabowski gets home a run for Elmira, which would cut the deficit even more. Pioneers trail by 3 here in the top of the 5th. Martineau flashes to bunt, draws it back, and takes a fastball outside, 1-0. Ty in his first 2 trips to the plate in the ball game, a strikeout looking and a fly ball to center. One of the most consistent and reliable bats in terms of hit production for Elmira all season long. 1-0 inside corner for a called strike. TJ Gramestia waits on deck, so if the Pios can piece together another 2-run rally, or 2-out rally more so, shall I say, like they did in the top of the 3rd, could bode well for them in terms of building momentum, especially considering you have a bullpen game for the next minimally 3 innings plus, say Bryce Mashanik lasts the 5th, so some offensive support would be nice. A high pop-up, shallow right field, going out as the second baseman, Vavakwa, the call and the catch, and the side is retired in the top of the 5th inning. No runs on no hits, 1 error, and a runner stranded on base. We'll take it to the home half of the 5th. Auburn ahead 5-2 here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Auburn as we head to the home half of the 5th inning. Doubledays lead the Pioneers 5-2. Elmira had a runner in scoring position in the top of the 5th inning. That was Aiden Grabowski, who reached on an error committed by the Doubledays first baseman in Max Fishbein, a throw about 5 feet to the right of the first base bag. Fishbein trying to hold his foot on, could not, or rather attempted to, but the ball trickled through the wicket of his glove to the to the warning track, which allowed Grabowski to reach second, but then a pop-up to shallow right field in which the second baseman Vivacqua went out to retrieve, which concluded the visitors' half of the fifth inning. So the Pioneers have pressed on a couple occasions tonight. They've stranded 5 runners on base in the process as the 2-1 inside, and Mashanik drills Alex Vasquez. So it's Vasquez rounding out the batting order who gets plunked. He reaches base for the second time in the ball game, and it'll roll it back to the top of the batting order in Tyler Vivacqua. Vasquez followed by Vivacqua and Kieran, 10-1 and 2 here in the home half of the fifth, and now Andy Drum comes out to the mound, and it looks like the Pioneers are going to make a call to the bullpen. Second mound visit for Mashanik, who lasts 4+ innings of work, 93 pitches on Bryce's evening. He hands the ball over to his skipper, and we'll take another brief timeout and come back in just a few short moments here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Auburn. A new pitcher in the ballgame for the Pioneers. It's the right-hander in Larson Birch, as he'll face the top of the batting order in Tyler Vivacqua, who grounds one to the forehand side of first. A diving stop by Moniz, throws to first in time. What a play made by the Pios second baseman for out number 1. And a nice greeting for Birch. 1 pitch, 1 out, as Vivacqua's retired for the second time in the ballgame. Putout goes 4-3. Advancing to scoring position in the process is Vasquez. So 1 out and a runner off second. Home half of the fifth. Auburn leading 5-2. Birch on in place of the righty Mashanik. And here comes the lefty hitting left fielder Tommy Kierwin. A strikeout and a fly ball. 0 for 2 in the ball game. Birch comes set left side of the rubber. A peek at Vasquez off of second, and a dribbler on the ground to first. Palmer's going to take it to the bag himself. He was about 20 feet off the bag, enough time to cover, even with Birch sprinting over towards the bag in time for out number 2. So 2 pitches, 2 outs for Birch. An economical beginning to the evening for the Northern Essex Community College product. So here comes Sam Meyer, 2 strikeouts swinging in the ball game. 2 outs, home half of the 5th. 2 runs on 2 hits and no errors for the Pioneers. 5 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors for the Doubledays. Righty and ready matchup. Birch kicks and fires. Rolled on the ground. Brendan Hammer to the forehand side at third. How about that? 3 pitches, 3 outs for Larson Birch. An economical performance from the Pioneers' right-handed reliever, and Elmira's out of the bottom of the 5th inning unscathed. No runs and no hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. Let's take it to the 6th. Auburn leads 5-2 here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Auburn for the top of the 6th inning of action as TJ Grimesti steps to the plate against the tall right-hander Wyatt Ernst. Ernst on for his 2nd inning of work in relief of Owen Burchard, and the first offering to Grimesti, a high pop-up behind first base. Ranging over is the second baseman Vivacqua. The call and the catch to his forehand side. For out number 1, he dropped it. It was on the transfer as Grimesti, frustrated with himself, will retreat back to the Elmira dugout. Had his hands over his head. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. For TJ, 2 for 3 in the ball game. For any offensive woes the Pioneers might be experiencing, it's such a team game and you want to be unselfish, but Grimesti can't really include himself in that because he's been offensively as powerful as anybody in the league. As Michael Palmer steps to the plate, takes a called strike. Mike, in his last at-bat, a 2-run single in the 3rd. Pios fans, are back-to-back West Division champion Elmira Pioneers are back home tomorrow, July 3rd, against the Auburn Doubledays for fireworks presented by Hilliard and STCF. Doors open promptly 1 hour before first pitch at 5:30. Be sure to call 607-734-2690 for tickets. Fastball inside, Palmer takes, and it's a 1-1 count with 1 out. Bases empty, Pios trail by 3 here in Auburn in the top of the 6th inning. Ernst, a deep breath, and the tall right-hander kicks and delivers above the letters. 2 balls and a strike to Mike. Fans, you can also join the back-to-back West Division champion Pioneer family with season tickets starting at just $99. Stop by the merchandise stand when at Dunfield next to sign up today. 2-1 to Palmer with 1 out. Fastball just off the outside corner. Ernst wanted a called strike 2, didn't get it. So 3-1, good hitters count for the Pioneers first baseman. Three-1 with one out. Palmer takes a fastball outside corner for a called strike 2. Pioneers would also like to thank some of our most loyal sponsors, including Bully Hill Vineyard, CAF USA, Centralis Health, Chemung Canal Trust Company, Chemung County AG Promotions, Chemung Supply, and Coca-Cola. Payoff pitch on the way to Palmer with the bases empty, one out. As Ernst kicks and fires, a swing and a miss with a fastball. The backswing hit the catcher, DeCesare, for out number 2. Mike down for the second time of the ball game. And it's the 5th strikeout from Auburn pitching combined. First strikeout of Ernst outing. That'll bring up Cooper Smith with 2 outs. You can also follow the Pioneers like never before with exclusive content on our social media platforms. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok at the Elmira Pioneers. Righty and righty matchup. Cooper Smith rolls one on the ground wide of third base, foul. 0-1 the count. Cooper 0 for 2 in the game, a strikeout to lead off the top of the second against Owen Burchard, and a line out to the shortstop Sullivan in the top of the third. (0-1) on the way to Smith with 2 outs. Pioneers 3 hits in the ball game, 2 came in the top of the third. Breaking ball, high. 1-1. Smith committing to George Mason University last Friday, the 4th-year Pioneer out of Tufts University. Awaits a 1-1 offering with 2 outs. Rolls one in front of the plate. It's going to remain in fair territory, and it's going to be a base hit for Smith. So Smith just fists it off the end of the bat, but it works out for the Pioneers. He reaches. So a runner on for Elmira with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Anthony Manganiello. Do you own a business looking for a janitor, supplier, or supplies? Call Vasco Brands and tell them the back-to-back West Division champion Elmira Pioneers sent you. 2 outs and a runner on. That's Smith for the lefty swinging Anthony Manganiello. Anthony in the ball game, 2 ground outs. Ground out back to Burchard on the mound. And then a ground out to Tyler Vivacqua. Ground ball to the mound came in the second. Grounder to second came to lead off the 4th. As Anthony takes a fastball high and away. 1-0 the count to the product out of Northwood University. Brett Baker awaits patiently on deck. Brett's reached base in one of his 2 plate appearances in the ball game. Smith a medium-sized lead with 2 outs. 1-0. Fastball picked in the dirt nicely by DeCesare. Keeps it in front of him. 2-0 the count. 2-0 with 2 outs. Auburn leads 5-2 over Elmira here in the Pioneers' half of the 6th inning. Ernst, an inning and 2/3 strong so far for Auburn. 2-0, fastball, outside corner. Manganiello takes for a called strike 1. (2-1). Manganiello fouls it back to the screen. Hard fastball there, 86 miles an hour from Ernst. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. Doubledays holding on to their 3-run lead. Was a 5-run lead 2 innings through. Pioneers sliced into the deficit with a Palmer 2-run single in the 3rd. We'll look to see if Smith goes. He extends his lead. 2-2 count. As Cooper's off of first with 2 outs. Fouled back by Manganiello. He stays alive. 2 runs on 3 hits and no errors for the Pioneers. Rather, 2 runs on 4 hits and no errors for the Pioneers. 5 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors for the Doubledays. 2-2 count to Manganiello with 2 outs. Holding on Smith at the bag at first is Fishbein, who's made a couple of nice defensive plays, but also had 2 baseballs skip past him, too, on throws from his respective infielders. 2-2 with 2 outs. Fastball fouled off, third base side out of play. Manganiello stays alive. Anthony continuing to do a good job of nicely working the counts throughout all his plate appearances this season. Anthony, a .368 on base percentage across 15 ball games. This is his 16th, 9 hits. Team leader with 14 RBIs. He's scored 5 runs. Manganiello looking to reach base for the first time in the ball game. Ernst looking to get his squad out of the top of the 6th unscathed. 2-2 with 2 outs. Ernst peeks in for the right side of the rubber, fires lined into right center field. That's going to be a base hit for Manganiello. Rounding second and heading to third is Smith. The throw comes into the shortstop, Sullivan, from Gianni DeCerbo. First and third for the Pioneers with 2 outs. So 2 hits in the inning, the 5th hit in the ball game. And the Pioneers will now look to get a run across the board. It's Brett Baker. Baker, so far in his time as an Elmira Pioneer, has reached base in 4 of 8 plate appearances, including a stolen base, an RBI, 3 singles, and a walk. Let's see what he can do here with 2 outs. Righty and lefty matchup with Ernst, second consecutive lefty to come to the plate against the Auburn reliever. Anthony, a medium-sized lead off of first, Smith's off of third. As Ernst rocks and fires, and the fastball in the dirt, a nice nab by the catcher DiCesare to keep it in front of him, 1-0. Baker awaits. Ernst comes set. Fires the 1-0. Line down the left field line. That could be trouble. That's hooking into the corner. That's just a foul ball. About 6 inches foul. A great piece from Baker as he sliced it right down the left field line, about 285 feet out. Took a bounce into the Doubledays bullpen. And potentially, with that rolling into the corner, that could have scored 2 runs. So a nice piece from Baker, who will wait a 1-1 with 2 outs. Ernst gets his sign. Slowly comes set from the right side of the rubber. Manganiello extends his lead off of first. 1-1 with 2 outs. Fastball taken high, 2-1. Smith dancing off of third. Wonder if Cooper's trying to bait Ernst into balking, especially with that slow windup that he possesses. It'll be a 2-1 to Baker with 2 outs. 16 RBIs with the UMass Dartmouth Corsairs in 2025 across 20-plus ball games. This one fouled back. 82-mile-an-hour changeup, a floater over the inner third at the letters. So Baker stays alive. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count with 2 outs. Brett represents the tying run with Smith off of third, Manganiello off of first. Middle infield's on the edge of the outfield turf. Behind the bag about 10 feet at third is Vasquez. Fishbein is holding on Manganiello at first. 2-2 with 2 out. Ernst sets and fires inside corner, just missing. Baker takes for ball 3. Ernst started shuffling towards the Doubledays dugout. He heard a couple oohs and ahs from the crowd in anticipation of a potential called strike 3. They didn't get it. Baker continuing to work in competitive at-bat. All 9 of his at-bats, Brett's been incredibly locked in so far. Only 1 strikeout in that process in his time as a Pioneer. In his 3rd game, 2nd full game, he'll wait a payoff pitch with 2 outs. Fastball off the outside corner. Brett walks. So the bases are loaded for Elmira with 2 outs. One of the largest at-bats of the season looms here for Jacob Moniz. Pioneers will look to scrape across a run. It's the 2nd walk of the ball game for Baker. He reaches in 2 of 3 plate appearances. Smith will be off of third, Manganiello off of second, and Baker off of first. And now Matthew Petrosi's going to come out to the mound. And it looks like potentially a pitching change could be in store. You have a couple arms loose in the Auburn bullpen. With Moniz awaiting, Moniz walked once in the ball game. That came in the top of the 2nd inning, as the rest of the Auburn infield and the catcher DeCesare will convene, with their manager making the slow trot out to the mound to have a conversation with Ernst. The Pioneers would like to thank Multimedia Service in South Corning for being the official printer of your back-to-back West Division champion Pioneers. Take a look around Dunfield and all the signage you see is printed none other than by Multimedia Services. Bases loaded for Elmira. They trail by 3 with 2 outs. A single scores 2. A gapper likely ties the ball game up, as Moniz represents the go-ahead run for Elmira. He digs in from the right side against the righty Ernst, a right-hander warming in the Auburn bullpen as well. As Ernst will look to get out of the inning after 2 singles and a walk. He kicks and fires to Jacob, a ground ball hit to the shortstop Sullivan. He'll go the short way to Vivacqua. Play goes 6-4, side retired in the inning. So for the Pioneers, no runs on 2 hits, no errors. They strand 3 runners on base. We'll head to the home half of the 6th with Auburn ahead by 3 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Auburn for the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be Anthony DeCesare, the catcher, to step to the plate. 4, 5, and 6 in the Auburn order due up against the tall right-hander Larson Birch in his 2nd inning of work for the Pioneers, as Larson kicks and fires a fastball off the outside edge. 1-0 the count. DeCesare, an RBI single in the bottom of the 1st, came around to score as well, followed by a grounder to Brendan Hammer at 3rd in the bottom of the 3rd inning. A swing and a miss from DeCesare. 1-1 the count. It'll be DeCesare followed by Sullivan and Fishbein here in the home half of the 6th for the Doubledays. Elmira was pressing. They had the bases loaded with 2 outs in the top of the 6th, but were unable to convert against the righty reliever in Wyatt Ernst, as a 1-1 breaking ball from Birch misses high and in tight. 2-1 the count for the Pioneers in the top of the 7th inning. It'll be the 9, 10, and 1 in the order. Hammer followed by Fadovich and Aiden Grabowski, as Elmira sends 6 hitters to the plate in the visitors' half of the 6th inning. Fastball misses off the outside edge. 3-1 the count to the Auburn catcher, as the ready Birch comes set from the left side of the rubber out of the stretch position. A deep breath, rock and fire, and the fastball skipped in the dirt, low and away. That's ball 4 as DeCesare is aboard for the 2nd time in the ball game. So a 5-pitch walk puts the leadoff runner on in the home half of the 6th. And here comes the shortstop, Adam Sullivan, from the left side. Sullivan 2 for 2 in the ball game, a single in the bottom of the 1st and a single in the bottom of the 3rd. Sullivan came around to score after he reached on his single in the bottom of the 1st, as Vivacqua DeCesare Sullivan, Fishbein, and Troy Reeder all crossed the plate against Bryce Mishanik. Went 5 earned runs across 4+ innings of work tonight for Elmira. There's a swing and a miss as Birch gets Sullivan to cut through the heater over the outer edge. 0-1 the count. Medium-sized lead for DeCesare off of first. Nobody out. He walked on 5 pitches to open up the inning against Birch and the Pios. Next offering, a swing and a miss as Birch gets Sullivan to cut through a second consecutive fastball. 0-2 the count. Birch comes set and fires, and it's dribbled back to the screen. Staying alive is Sullivan, as Grimesti might have gotten shaken up on either the backswing or the baseball. Pioneers would like to thank some of our most loyal sponsors for the 2025 season, including Just In Time, Kahuna's, Kennedy Valve, M&T Bank, Martha Lloyd Community Services, Ma's Cheesy Dreams, and McDonald's. 0-2 the count to the 3-hitter Adam Sullivan. Bottom of the 6th inning with nobody out. Pioneers in the ball game have stranded 9 runners on base against 2 pitchers. Owen Burchard, who lasted 4 innings of work, gave up 2 earned runs on 3 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Since then, they've turned it over to Wyatt Ernst, who's pitched well, holding the Pioneers scoreless through 2 innings of relief work. Snap throw back to first to check on DeCesare off of first base. Birch snapping over to Palmer. So it'll be a 0-2 offering with nobody out. Birch, another quick fire over. Keeps another eye on DeCesare. For Ernst in the ball game so far, 2 innings of work, 2 hits, no runs, no earned. A walk and a strikeout. Fastball off the inside edge. Birch kicking it up to 87 miles an hour on the heater. Sullivan takes a ball and 2 strikes. Overall, for the Doubledays, 109 pitches between Burchard and Ernst through 6 innings of work. So the Pioneers certainly have made them work, but only scraped across 2 runs. As the backdoor breaking ball tapped back to the screen, staying alive is Sullivan once again. Count remains 1-2. After Sullivan, it's the first baseman, Max Fishbein. So righty, lefty, righty being countered by Matthew Petrassi's squad here in the home half of the 6th. Auburn looking to keep place in third, trailing second place Batavia by not too much as a line drive into left field for a base hit. Retrieving and firing in quickly is Baker. So 2 on with nobody out, and the Elmira bullpen remains empty. Here in the bottom of the 6th for Auburn, DeCesare a walk. He now advances to second on the single from Sullivan. So here comes Max Fishbein. In at the corner at first is Michael Palmer. Both Moniz and Grabowski at their regular double play depth in the middle infield as Birch 1 peek at second, kicks and fires. Fastball outside corner, taking for a called strike 1 is Fishbein. Hammer playing even with the bag at third. Outfield's relatively deep. Fishbein 0 for 1. A grounder to Hammer in the bottom of the 3rd. He walked in the bottom of the 1st and came around to score. 0-1. Birch fires, breaking ball in the dirt. Nice stop from Grimesti. 1-1 the count. So Birch, only an inning of work. Got 3 pitches in the bottom of the 5th inning to get the Pioneers out of it. Now 14 total pitches. 11 here in the home half of the 6th. Still no outs recorded. 107 pitches for the Pioneers. Pitching staff combined in 5+ innings of work this evening. Birch fires a 1-1. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. That's a called strike 2 to Fishbein. So 1-2 with nobody out, with the right-handed hitting extra hitter Troy Reeder awaiting on deck. Birch comes set, and calling time is Fishbein. He steps out. Now he'll dig back in. For the Pioneers, 2 runs on 5 hits and no errors. For Auburn, 5 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. Moniz creeps in at the bag at second. Birch rocks and fires. Breaking ball hit on the ground into left field for a base hit out of the extended reach of Grabowski, who went all the way out to retrieve it on the backhand side. A valiant dive in shallow left field from Aiden, who fires off balance to third. It was way too late to nab DeCesare, but you applaud the valiant effort nonetheless from the Pioneers shortstop. But just like that, 2 consecutive hits following the walk, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Auburn, looking to build upon their already growing 3-run advantage. And I say growing for the fact of there's only 9 outs remaining in the ball game. Pioneers trailing by 3 runs. They're 0-2 here at Falcon Park on the season. 1-3 against the Doubledays, who remain ahead of them by a game and a half in 3rd place. Piles will get Auburn again from Dunn Field tomorrow evening as Birch rocks and fires a fastball over the outside corner, called strike 1 to Troy Reeder. Reeder in the ball game, a walk in the bottom of the 1st, came around to score, and a pop-up to Michael Palmer at 1st to lead off the bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th inning, that was capped off by Bryce Mashanik, finishing his outing with 2 consecutive strikeouts, one by the backwards K on Tyler Young, who's currently in the hole right now. As a high fly ball powered to deep center field. Fatovich goes back on his horse in front of the warning track. He'll put it away. DeCesare will tag. He'll come to the plate. Every runner advances up 90 feet. An RBI sac fly off the bat of Troy Reeder, and now Auburn leads 6-2. So 2 more runners in scoring position, a run home on 2 hits in the inning. 1 out recorded by Birch, and that'll bring up the righty swinging Gianni DeCerbo to the dish. Cerbo finishing the last of his warm-up swings. Now we'll dig in from the right side against Birch. Pioneers bring the infield in. 5 hits apiece from either side as Birch fires first offering to DeCerbo, a called strike at the belt of DeCerbo. 0-1 the count. DeCerbo, a 3-run double down the right field line out of the extended reach of Cooper Smith into the corner in the bottom of the 1st. He eventually got nabbed in attempts to be a little greedy and try and take 3rd. But a 3-run double as the fastball off the outside corner. DeCerbo takes, and it's a ball and a strike. Pioneers have lost 5 out of their last 6 ball games, 4 of their last 5 on the road after what was an unbelievable 7-2 run in 9 ball games, which got the Pioneers to 1st place in the PGCBL West Division after 16 ball games, but now on the outside looking in 5th place as the breaking ball catches the knees for a called strike 2 to DeCerbo. A nice 79-mile-an-hour freezer from the right-hander Birch, who's given the Pioneers 4 outs of relief length. Elmira bullpen still remains relatively quiet. Deep breath from Birch, a rock and a fire. Breaking ball just off the outside edge. DeCerbo takes 2-2 the count. DeCerbo is followed by Tyler Young. Flew out to right field in the bottom of the 2nd. Struck out looking in the bottom of the 4th. Pioneers infield remains in with 2 strikes, 1 out. Home half of the 6th, the run already home for Auburn. Fastball low as Grimesti had to stab it in the dirt. 3-2 the count. Two runs on 5 hits and no errors for the Pioneers. 6 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors for Auburn. It'll be a payoff pitch with 1 out. Righty on righty matchup. DeCerbo looking to reach base for the 2nd time in the ball game, and now time's called. Grimesti will come out to the mound for a brief conversation with his relief pitcher. Back-to-back West Division champion Pioneers would like to thank Clarion Inn Horseheads Elmira for being the official host hotel for the Pioneers. If you're looking for a great place to stay or host an event, be sure to visit them on Water Street in downtown Elmira. Payoff pitch on the way with 1 out. From Birch to DeCerbo. Whole entire Pioneer infield is in. Auburn fans starting to get on their feet. Payoff pitch, grounded up the middle out of the extended reach of Moniz into right center field for a base hit. Rounding 3rd and coming to the plate is Fishbein. As 2 runs come in to score, Sullivan scores. Fishbein right behind him on a 2-run single for DeCerbo. Now 5 RBIs in the ball game for him. And the Doubledays are putting some distance between themselves and the Pioneers. They now lead 8-2. So in the inning, 3 runs on 3 hits through 1 out against Larson Birch. Infield, middle infield that is, backs up to their regular double play depth with DeCerbo off of first base. A 2-for-3 night for him. That brings up the righty hitting DH and Tyler Young. First offering from Birch to Young is dribbled right back to the mound. Birch a stab. He'll throw off bounds to Grabowski, who can't handle it at shortstop. It pulled Aiden off the bag, who attempted to keep his foot on the bag with a backhanded stop, was unable to. And it's going to be an E1 on the pitcher, Birch. First error of the ball game committed by Elmira. As DeCerbo advances into scoring position, he's off a second. Young aboard for the first time in the ball game on the E1. Eric Burkhan's going to come out to the mound now to have a conversation with the Pioneers infield and Larson Birch. Pioneers would like to thank Council Rock Wealth Advisory Group, Curran Power Sports, Dandy Mini Marts, Dr. Susan Minchin, DDS, Elm Chevy, Elmira Heat Treating, and Elmira Impact for their loyal sponsorship throughout the course of the 2025 season. Centralis Health is also the official health care provider for your Elmira Pioneers. Next time you need medical attention, make sure you visit Centralis for all your medical needs throughout the Southern Tier and Central New York. Runners on first and second with one out in the bottom of the sixth inning. Auburn with a 6-run lead against Larson Birch and the Pioneers. Larson, the second pitcher on hand for Elmira in the ball game after Bryce Mashanik lasted 4+ innings of work. In Mashanik's outing, 4 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. 93 pitches for Bryce before he was pulled. Righty-on-righty matchup at the bottom of the order. It's the third baseman Alex Vasquez, who takes a fastball at the knees over the outer edge for a called strike. Vasquez a walk at the bottom of the second. He was stranded on third, a hit batsman at the bottom of the fifth. He was the last pitch that Bryce Mashanik threw on the evening prior to him being pulled from the ball game. So he's reached base twice. As DeCerbo's off a second, Young off a first. 0-1 the count with 1 out. Birch fires low. Gromesti's going to fire down to second base. Picked on a hop by Monas. Tag applied, not in time. So a double steal committed by the Auburn Doubledays as DeCerbo gets to third. Young gets to second. 1-1 the count with 1 out. 2 more in scoring position for the Doubledays. For Alex Vasquez, on the season, 7 RBIs, 7 hits, and an extra base hit. Fastball, dribbled. Hammer's going to charge in. He's going to fire to the plate. Throw picked on a hop by Gromesti. Tag applied in time for out number 2. So DeCerbo's nabbed at the plate on a fielder's choice. Young stays at second. Vasquez reaches, and it's back to the top of the batting order. And the lefty hitting Tyler Vivacqua. So 2 outs. Auburn leads 8-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pioneers in danger of dropping their 2nd consecutive ball game. Their 5th in their last 6 and their 4th in 5 games on the road. Luckily, a little home cooking might be good news for the Pioneers. They played incredibly well at Dunn Field. 8-4 this season. Pioneers have played incredibly well in doubleheader situations as well, a 6-2 overall record. So that's something to keep in mind too, because the Pioneers do have some games in front of them against teams that do sit below them in the standings right now. You have 4 more against the Geneva Red Wings. You have 3 more against the Newark Pilots. So that's 7 right there. And you have 2 against the Niagara Ironbacks. So 9 potential games in the last 23. That one's lined into right center field. That's a base hit. Coming to the plate and scoring easily is Tyler Young. Advancing to third is Vasquez on an RBI single off the bat of Tyler Vivacqua. He reaches base for the 2nd time in the ball game, and it's now 9-2 Auburn here in the bottom of the 6th. So 4 runs on 4 hits against Larson Birch, and now the Pioneers bullpen starts to stir. Overall, the Pioneers are being outscored 30-8 through their opening 22 innings of baseball here at Falcon Park in Auburn, New York. Pioneers will come back to Auburn on Wednesday, July 16th for another matchup with Auburn. Is taken off for second base is Vivacqua. Gromesti's going to fire down to second offline to Grabowski. It's a stolen base for Vivacqua. 1-0 the count. 2 runners advance into scoring position. Or rather, shall I say, Vasquez was already in scoring position. The stolen bag from Vivacqua puts him in scoring position. And 2 are on a platter for Tommy Kierwin, who's 0 for 3 in the ballgame. A strikeout, fly out, and ground out to Michael Palmer at first in his last trip to the plate. 1-0 from Birch with 2 outs. That one's lined into deep right field. Going back is Smith on his horse. Way back to the track, and it's going to be over his head and hop up against the base of the right center field wall. Coming in to score easily is Vasquez. Right behind him is Vivacqua diving for third. Getting in there safely with a 2 RBI triple is Tommy Kierwin. And now Auburn's blown it wide open. A 6-run bottom of the 6th. They now lead 11-2. So Vasquez and Vivacqua easily coast to the plate with 2 outs, as Larson Birch has given up 6 runs in the inning. It'll be a righty-on-righty matchup. Sam Meyer, the center fielder for Auburn, comes to the plate. Meyer in the ball game 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a grounder to Hammer at third. Breaking ball, that one lined into left field. That should hang up for Brett Baker as he charges in and puts it away, and the side's retired in the bottom of the 6th inning. But for Auburn, 6 runs on 6 hits, an error, and a runner stranded on base. We'll take it to the 7th. Auburn ahead 11-2 here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Falcon Park as we get you set for the top of the 7th inning of action. It'll be Brendan Hammer followed by Dylan Fadovich and Aiden Grabowski to step to the plate as Auburn puts some distance between themselves and the Pioneers. They now lead 11-2. Pio's in danger of dropping another one here at Falcon Park. Hammer looks to be the first to start the comeback for Elmira, down by 9. As Wyatt Ernst on for his 3rd inning of relief work, kicks and fires a fastball over the inside corner. A healthy cut from Hammer, 0-1 the count. Righty, lefty, righty to come to the plate here in the visitors' half of the 7th inning. Both 2 runs in the 3rd inning for Elmira came off the bat of Michael Palmer. And they were the only runs in the ball game to this point so far for the Pioneers. Piles will get Auburn tomorrow at home, a doubleheader at Colburn Park in Newark on Friday, home versus Newark on Saturday night, and at Geneva on Sunday afternoon. 1-1, that one line to first base, and handling it on the line is Fishbein for out number 1. Hammer's retired. So here comes Dylan Fadovich. Fatovich reached base as Vivacqua made an error in the top of the third. Dillon came around to score in the process, then grounded out to the shortstop Sullivan in the top of the fifth. Takes a fastball low here, 1-0 the count. Ernst taking some life off that at 79 miles an hour. Pioneers in the ball game. 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. And for Auburn, well, they score 6 runs on 6 hits, an error committed by the Pios in the bottom of the 6th. 11 runs on 10 hits for Auburn. Base is empty with 1 out. It'll be a 2-0 to Fatovich. Fastball lined back to the screen, foul, 2-1 the count. Glad he could join us here on the Pioneers Baseball Network on this Wednesday evening from Colburn Park in Auburn, New York. Pios fans, new trading card sets and mini bats are now available at the merchandise store at Dunn Field. This season, get yourself the latest Elmira Pioneers gear, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, warm-ups, baseballs, and much, much more. Be sure to stop by the merchandise stand for concessions the next time you're at Dunn Field. Fatovich cuts and misses. So from 2-0 to 2-2, as Auburn's got a couple arms getting loose in their bullpen. Ernst 2 1/3 strong so far. He's held Elmira scoreless. See, rocks and fires in a high pop-up, shallow left center field. In charge is Meyer. He calls off the left fielder Kieran, and Meyer puts it away for out number 2 in the inning. So an L3 and F8. So here comes Aiden Grabowski, 0 for 2, reached on an E3 in the top of the 5th, committed by the first baseman Fishbein, and he was stranded on second base to conclude the inning. Righty on righty with 2 out, as Ernst comes set from the right side of the rubber, kicks and fires a fastball taken at the knees by Grabowski for a called strike 1. Eleven to 2, Auburn leads, top of the 7th. Base is empty with 2 outs as Grabowski swings and misses at a breaking ball. 79 miles an hour from Ernst over the outer edge. So nothing into the count with 2 outs. Grabowski will look to notch his first hit of the day. 0 for 2. Did have some hard contact, though. Fly ball to right field, his first trip to the plate. Deep right center field. And then a line out to the shortstop Sullivan in the top of the 30s. He lines one here off the end of the bat into shallow left field. In charges Kerwin, and did he make the catch or was it trapped on a bounce? He made the catch. And that's out number 3 in the inning. So the Pioneers go down in order on a nice sliding dive made by Kierwin. So no runs on no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. 6.5 through. Elmira down by 9 here on the Pioneers Baseball Network. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning in Auburn. A new pitcher on in the ball game for Elmira. It's the right-hander Chase Medris. For Medris, Chase is making his 3rd appearance on the season, an inning of work that came partly against the Newark Pilots back on June 20th. 5 earned runs, 5 walks. 5 earned runs on 6 walks. As he'll face Anthony DeCesare, followed by Adam Sullivan and Max Fishbein, the 4, 5, and 6 in the Auburn order. Rolled on the ground down to 3rd. Brendan Hammer throws off balance. A strong throw to Michael Palmer in time. Put out goes 5-3, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. So a good start for Medris. 1 pitch, 1 out. DeCesare now 1 for 3 in the ball game. It'll bring up the lefty swinging shortstop Adam Sullivan. For Sullivan, 3 singles in the ball game. He's come around to score twice. Auburn leads 11-2. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2 runs on 5 hits and no errors for the Pios. 11 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors for Auburn. Check that 1 error for Elmira as a breaking ball inside corner at the letters, taken for a called strike, is Sullivan. 0-1. Medris sets, fires. Fastball just off the outside corner. 1-1 the count. Medris kicks and fires, and the breaking ball popped up down the 3rd base side. That'll trickle foul out of play. 1-2 the count. Medris, slow off speed executed at 70 miles an hour. One, two, and there's a swing and a miss. That's Chase Medris' first strikeout as an Elmira Pioneer, and it comes to a very potent hitter in Adam Sullivan, who was 3 for 3 in the ball game prior. Chase getting him to cut through it. And now 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. A quick 5-pitch, 2-out start for Chase Medris. So Fishbein digs in from the right side. Righty on righty matchup. Chase kicks and fires. Breaking ball high and in tight. 1-0 the count. Medris from the right side of the river kicks and fires. Breaking ball off the plate. 2-0 the count. Fastball rolled on the ground to Hammer at 3rd. On 4 steps, he fires. Nice pick by Palmer, but no. Field umpire says that Palmer's foot came off the bag, so it'll likely go down as an E5, I guess a throwing error on Hammer, as Palmer tried to keep his foot on the bag. So reaching is Fishbein with 2 outs. He reaches for the 3rd time in the ball game on the E5 from the 3rd baseman Hammer, and that'll bring up the righty hitting extra hitter in Troy Reeder. Medris from the stretch position, kicks and fires. Reeder swings and misses. 0-1 the count. Oh, 1 breaking ball. Oh, almost inside and almost clipped Reeder. 1-1, a 69-mile-an-hour floaty breaking ball. Has some good movement, though. Medris, a lot of potential with the life on his stuff. It can move from left to right. Dart really quickly. So some exciting back end of the bullpen work in store for the Pioneers. Should Medris give Elmira some length out of the bullpen in consecutive outings. He fires a fastball off the plate here at 79. 2-1 the count. It'll be a 2-1 with 2 outs. Medris comes set, right side of the rubber, deals a swing and a miss. Medris up to 80 with that fastball, gets Reeder to cut through it at the knees. 2-2 the count. With 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning, Pioneers trail by 9. Here from Falcon Park in Auburn. Major sets, fires, breaking ball, outside corner, called, strike 3. Beautifully spotted on the back door from Chase as he catches Reeder looking, and that'll conclude the bottom of the 7th inning. So for the Doubledays, no runs and no hits, no errors, or rather 1 error, and a runner stranded on base. We've played 7 innings, Auburn ahead 11-2 on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to the top of the 8th inning here from Falcon Park in Auburn, New York. I'm Farrell Hudson for the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. I want to thank you for spending part of your Wednesday evening with us. Zach Ruffing comes on the mound for the Auburn Doubledays after Chase Medris gets through the bottom of the 7th inning unscathed. 3 pitchers utilized by the Pioneers. As this one lined into a shallow right field from Ty Martineau off the end of the bat. Settling under it is DeCerbo. He puts it away to retire Ty for out number 1. So Martineau, give it a good ride. And that'll bring up TJ Grimesti. Ty 0 for 4 in the ball game. As Grimesti 2 for 3 in the ball game. 2 singles. Came around to score in the 3rd. Popped up to the second baseman in Vivacqua in the top of the 6th. Digs in, righty on righty against Zach Ruffing, the new pitcher in the ball game, out of American University for the Auburn Doubledays. Fires in the breaking ball, fouled off by Grimesti. Breaking ball, high, 1-1 the count. 2 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors for the Pioneers. For the Doubledays, 11 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors. Fastball misses low, 2-1 the count. Zach Ruffing spending some time at Lackawanna College as Grimesti powers one deep to right center field. That's going to be a base hit and up against the wall, and it goes over the right center field wall. So a ground rule double for Grimesti, who powered that to deep right center field as TJ reaches for the 3rd time in the ball game. Grimesti 3 for 4 as the TJ train just keeps on rolling down the tracks. So the Marlborough, Massachusetts native in Ruffing is greeted by the Pioneers' most potent hitter, and heck, one of the best hitters in the entire PGCBL. It's now the left-handed hitting Michael Palmer who digs in, and the righty Ruffing fires. Fastball inside, 1-0. Ruffing spending time at Lackawanna College this season, a 3.32 ERA across 19 innings of work. 8 walks and 14 strikeouts. This one sliced down the left field line. It's going to go into the Doubledays bullpen out of play. 1-1 the count. Ruffing pitching to an opposing batting average of .239 in his time at Lackawanna College. So it'll be a 1-1 with 1 out. Grimesti's off a second in scoring position. It's Ruffing. Peeks at Grimesti and fires a fastball off the plate. 2-1. It'll be a 2-1 to Palmer. High pop. Behind the plate, giving it a look is to Cesare, and it'll go up against the top roof here at Falcon Park. So it'll be a 2-2 with 1 out. There's umpire going over to ask for, I guess, new baseballs from the Doubledays dugout. It's a 2-2 with 1 out. Righty on lefty matchup. Palmer looking to reach base following the Grimesti double. Pitch rolled on the ground to first. Handling it is Fishbein. He'll take it to the bag himself in time. Grimesti advances to third. Put out goes 3 unassisted. 2 outs in the top of the 8th. So here comes Cooper Smith to the plate with Grimesti off of third. Cooper Smith 1 for 3 in the ball game, a strikeout, line out, and an infield single in the 6th, dribbling one down the third base line. As he takes a fastball off the outside corner for a called strike 1. 83 miles an hour on Ruffing's fastball. Infield's back, outfield at medium depth. Doubledays preserving a 9-run advantage. Fastball right down Broadway, a called strike 2. Smith taking the first 2 in the at-bat. Ruffing looking for his inning ender after a 1-out double was rocketed to deep right center field off the bat of Grimesti. Took a bounce and went over the right center field wall, so a ground rule double. He advanced to third on the ground ball from Palmer. This one down the right field line. It's just going to slice foul out of the extended reach of Gianni DeCerbo into the Pioneer bullpen. Smith stays alive as he just poked out on that breaking ball over the outer third. So the count remains 0-2 to Cooper. Trying to keep the Pioneers alive in the inning. For Grimesti, he delivered Elmira's 6th hit of the ball game. But things aren't looking too great for Elmira right now. 4 outs defensively remaining for Auburn to get in the ball game, up 9. 0-2 off the plate. Smith takes, it's 1-2. One-two coming with 2 out. Breaking ball taken high by Smith. And that's the thing with Cooper. He has a knack for working the counts. No matter whether he's down 0-2, getting the third strike is always the toughest on him. Piecing together another formidable season in a Pioneer uniform. He'll look to get the Pios on the board in the 8th inning here as he fouls back the next offering. Cooper continuing to stay alive. He'll see a 7th pitch in the at-bat. Cooper knocking foul balls left, right, and center. Anthony Manganiello awaits on deck. Smith, the 4th hitter to come to the plate for Elmira in the visitors' half of the 8th inning. Pios haven't scored since the 3rd. 2-2. Fouled off. And another pitch on the way to Smith. Smith takes a moment to gather himself, and now he'll dig back in. As roughing comes set, working out of the windup from the right side of the rubber, kicks and fires a 2-2, and the breaking ball popped into shallow left field. In charge is Kierwin. He settles under it. Going out is the shortstop, Sullivan, who makes a shoestring catch to conclude the top of the 8th inning. So shielding it away from Kierwin was the shortstop, Sullivan. Still to no avail for the Pioneers. No runs on one hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. 7.5 through, 11-2. Auburn leads on the Pioneers Baseball Network. Welcome back to Auburn for the bottom of the 8th inning. Anthony Manganiello, the new catcher in the ballgame for the Pioneers. He takes over behind the plate for the second inning of work for Chase Medris. A rough night for the Pios overall in Auburn, who will look to get the final 3 outs here of the 8th inning and get on to a potential 9th inning rally. The Pioneers would like to thank some of our most loyal sponsors for the 2025 season, including Finger Lakes Federal Credit Union, FM Howell, Clubhouse, Guthrie, Heselton's, Hilliard, and Jubilee. Pios would also like to thank Myers RV, Nucor, Papa John's, Pathways, Pizza Hut, Red Robin, and Rodney J. Strange. All great sponsors, and glad to be supporting another season of Pioneers baseball. Johnny DeCerbo to dig in from the right side. 8, 9, and 10 due up in the Auburn order against Chase Medris, who had a fine bottom of the 7th inning. He struck out 2, one via the backwards K. That came to the righty hitting E.H. Troy Reeder out of the University of Notre Dame to conclude the bottom of the 7th inning. Just a gorgeous pitch sequence from Medris, who was behind 2-0 in the count. Came back to strike out Reeder, as now he fires a breaking ball over the head of DeCerbo. 1-0 the count. with nobody out. That was a 65-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch executed from the Elmira right-hander. All three pitchers in the ball game for the Pioneers this evening, right-handers. Mashanik followed by Birch and Medris, and same thing goes for the Auburn Doubledays as Owen Burchard, Wyatt Ernst, and now Zach Ruffing in the game, all right-handers for the Doubledays. It's not how you start, it's how you finish for the Pioneers this season. And when all's said and done, with some up and down games, a couple streaky stretches, Pioneers at worst will exit tonight's ball game 12-11, still a game over 500 with multiple games in hand on the four teams ahead of them, each team ahead of them being Niagara, Batavia, Auburn, and now Jamestown in the fourth place spot. All have at least played a game or more, so the Pioneers have that in their favor. Pioneers also have a litany of home games remaining at Dunn Field. That's still in their favor. Pioneers have just about 11 home games left at the Dunn with about half a season remaining, so you're accounting for about 45 to 50% of your schedule being home. Yes, you do have to play a lot on the road, but you go up against a Niagara Falls team you're 2-1 against, play the Niagara Ironbacks at home, who aren't having themselves their favorite season right now. Games against Newark, who's just behind you on Friday. You get Jamestown 3 more times as Medris walks to Cerro. A snap throw back to first from Manganiello, not in time. Pioneers almost nabbed him on a ball picked in the dirt. So it's a 1-0 count with nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, as DeCerbo gets walked, as Medris kicks and fires. Fastball picked in the dirt by Manganiello. He's going to fire down to second base. Tag applied by Moniz. No. It trickles into center field. And now racing and heading to third is DeCerbo, and he's 90 feet away. And the Pios are in danger of dropping the ball game here should the run score. That would be the 10-run mercy rule. So a 2-0 count with one out. Pions would also like to thank Saratoga Eagle Save-A-Lot, Service Master Serve Pro, Servview Credit Union, Shedden's Wholesale Solutions Credit Union, Southern Tier Custom Fabricators, Swan Morse Insurance, Texas Roadhouse, Tom's South Corning, United States Army, Vasco Brands, and Visions Federal Credit Union. 2-0 the count with nobody out. Fastball inside, taken by the right-handed hitting extra hitter, or designated hitter in Tyler Young. DeCerbo on the pass ball, another error committed by the Pioneers. That's now 3 in the ball game for Elmira. Medris fires, fastball low, and away for ball 4. So the second consecutive walk to open up the bottom of the 8th inning. And that'll bring up Alex Vasquez rounding out the Auburn batting order. I also would like to also thank Ward Manufacturing, Wegmans, Weiss Markets, Wellnow Urgent Care, Wilbur Auto, and Woodbrook Assisted Living for their extended sponsorship through the 2025 season. Runners on the corners with nobody out. Fastball low for ball 1. Well, fastball, and that kicks away from Manganiello in the dirt. Here comes DeCerbo to the plate, and the ball game is over. So the Auburn Doubledays walk off the Pioneers in a tough way as Elmira drops the ball game in 8 innings, 12-2 to Auburn. They'll see the Doubledays from Dunn Field again tomorrow night as the run comes in to score in DeCerbo. So a tough loss for the Pioneers. They lose 12-2 to the Doubledays. They go to 0-3 at Falcon Park on the season, 1-4 against Auburn overall, and now 12-11 through 23 ball games, including a 2-game losing skid, and now the Pioneers have dropped 6 of their last 7 ball games. We'd like to thank everybody who loyally comes out to Dunn Field to support your back-to-back West Division champion Elmira Pioneers, and we want to remind you that a Pioneers game is a great way to bring your group together. Whether it's a school, church, business, youth, sports organization, or anything in between, the Pioneers are also able to offer great picnic options for your organization or business. Reserve your group today by calling 607-734-2690. Go Pios. That'll do it for our live coverage tonight on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network. Pios dropped the ball game 12-2. Auburn advances to 14-8-2 on the season. And be sure to tune into the Pioneers Baseball Network tomorrow night, 5:55 p.m. Pioneers pregame live, followed by the first pitch between the Auburn Doubledays and the Elmira Pioneers at 6:30 p.m. For now, I'm Farrell Hudson saying so long and good night for the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network.